Chapter 262. 3 days later, when everything in Mate City had returned to normal, Su family was also decorated with lanterns and colored banquets. They held a banquet for Su Wan and Su Rui's wedding. This time, Su De and his wife were naturally honored guests. The entire Su family village attended the wedding banquet. This was the grandest wedding ever since Mate City was built. The ordinary citizens of Mate City and the leaders of the other families all prepared gifts and came to attend the wedding banquet. Su Zhon's performance a few days ago had completely conquered the hearts of the people of Mate City. Even the chiefs of the other 3 families had given up on competing with the Su family. Right now, Su family was undoubtedly the #1 family in Mate City. Xiao family could only silently concede without any complaints. The Castellan, Long Qianzhan, also came to attend the wedding banquet with a great gift. Su Ya even pulled him to be the witness for the wedding. A summoner's wedding wasn't complicated. Su Rui and Su Wan both wore bright red wedding gowns with golden patterns. The two rode on strong magical beasts and circled around the city, receiving everyone's blessings. On the night of their wedding night, during the imperial examinations, this was the happiest thing in his life. Even though it wasn't his first marriage, General Su acted like it was his first time getting married. He was really excited. Feeling Su Rui's hands around her getting tighter and tighter, Su Wan leaned into his embrace and couldn't help but smile. When you find that person in the vast sea of people, you'll truly understand the meaning of happiness. You don't need to go through any storms, nor do you need an earth-shattering confession. As long as the two are together, even if they don't do anything, they'll still be filled with happiness. Tonight, the red brocade fluttered. It was another night of entanglement. The next day, the Su family did whatever they needed to do. As for the master and young madam, did you expect them to come out on the first day of their wedding? You're too naive. Su Liang, I bet 10 gold coins that it'll take at least 5 days this time. Su Pei, stingy. I bet 20 gold coins that it'll take at least 7 days. Su Ya, 1,000 gold coins for 10 days. Su Liang and Su Pei were speechless. Lord Patriarch, can you still let us poor people play happily tilde? Elder, Master, you should hurry back to your room and take your medicine tilde. Su Ya was speechless. A month later, Xiao Yang and his companions, who had finished the trial, embarked on the journey back to the capital. However, Mr. Yun Fan, who was full of hope and intended to abduct the genius back to the academy, had to return in frustration. Forget about Su Zhon, even the other members of the Su family wouldn't leave with him. The Royal Summoners Academy was awesome. The Royal Summoners Academy was full of geniuses. Is he as awesome as our young master? Is there a genius like our young master? In short, he wouldn't regret following the eldest young master. The Su brothers expressed that they would go wherever the eldest young master was. Teacher Yun, who was provoked by the Su family's contempt, could only leave with tears streaming down his face. After Yun Fan and his group left, the royal family's reward arrived as promised. This time, Su family had helped the city lord fight against the magical beasts. Arinda country's royal family wanted to rope in the Su family. Of course, they were only interested in the genius Su Zhon. In order to rope in this genius, the royal family had spared no expense this time. The cultivation resources that were bestowed were simply dazzling. The rewards that everyone was envious of were distributed by Su Rui to the children of the Su family with a wave of his hand. No matter if it was the direct line of descent or the new army of the branch, everyone received a lot of cultivation resources. Many people in Mate City were impressed by Su family's rapid development and young Master Su's domineering attitude. Right now, Su family's summoner army was starting to take shape. Seeing that Su Zhon had trained the good-for-nothings into summoners with extraordinary abilities, the commoners in the city started to get restless. Finally, one day, an old man and his grandson knelt in front of Su residence's door. He hoped that Su family could accept his grandson. They were willing to sign a soul contract with Su family just to get a chance for their grandson to become a summoner. Once there was one, there would be a second. Soon, all the hopeful people in Mate City gathered at the Su family's residence. After the initial screening, a large portion of them were kept by Su Rui. Su family actually didn't need manpower anymore. But since Su Rui wanted Su family to become the #1 family in Mate City, he couldn't lose the support of the commoners. A year later, Su family's new summoner army had expanded to 1,000 people. Right now, Su Wu was a grade 5 intermediate summoner. Su Qing and Su Ji had also advanced to intermediate summoner. Right now, the three of them had become the leaders of their respective summoner teams. They were like the direct descendants of Su family, leading their teams to work for the family. In a year's time, Su Rui was still a grade 1 summoner. Actually, he could break through to grade 1. Above grade 1 summoner was a new realm known as an Earth grade summoner. Earth grade summoners were divided into 3 ranks. After the Earth grade was the Heaven grade and then the King grade. Currently, the highest rank on the mainland was known as an Emperor summoner. With Su Rui's current identity as a Demon King, he could directly become a King grade summoner if he circulated the spiritual qi in his body. But ranks were useless to him. In this year, Su Wan had also advanced to a grade 3 summoner. Chapter 263. Demon King? Master, how are you? Little White's hair stood on end as he looked at Su Rui. His enormous snow-white body kept retreating. I'm a demon. Su Rui slowly said, his tone low and dangerous. Now that you know my identity, I'll give you 2 choices. Submit or die. Little White, damn. Live or die? This is a difficult question. Seeing that Little White was still hesitating, Su Rui's purple eyes flickered and he summoned a pitch-black dagger. This was his demonic sword from the abyss. This was the first time he summoned it after coming to Dongchuan mainland. The surging demonic aura made Little White unable to breathe. Was he going to die? Was he going to die? Right now, Little White's mind suddenly became clear. No matter if it was a god or a demon, they were all in the past. The mainland was ruled by humans right now. What was the point of being entangled with a god or a demon? Master, Little White's gaze brightened and he quickly spoke. Before he could finish, the pitch-black demonic sword was already slashing down. I know your choice. What followed was Su Rui's voice. He and Little White had a contract so Su Rui could naturally hear its thoughts. Little White was speechless. You knew and you still slashed down. Damn. Master, you're really demonic. Late at night. Su Wu was sleeping soundly in her room when hurried footsteps suddenly rang out in the courtyard. Who is it? Su Wu, who had been an assassin her entire life, woke up with a start. Her gaze was cold and sharp. Eldest miss. Su Pei's anxious voice rang from outside the door. Eldest miss, hurry and open the door. Little White, he's going to die soon. What? Su Wu didn't even have time to put on her outerwear. She ran to the door in her thin underwear and opened it. Su Pei stood there anxiously. She was hugging a small white thing in front of her chest. This was Little White. How did he become like this? Right now, Little White didn't have a huge body anymore. He was just a small ball, much smaller than when he first woke up. What happened to him? Su Wu lifted her hands and carried Little White in her arms out of habit. She looked at Su Pei and asked nervously. I don't know. Young master told me to bring it to you. It's shivering all over and it's hot and cold. It looks very uncomfortable. Su Pei didn't know what was wrong with Little White. She just followed Su Rui's orders. Little White. Hearing Su Pei's words, Su Wu lowered her gaze in concern. She called out softly and raised her hand to gently stroke Little White's fur like before. Xiao Wu is good. Feeling Su Wu's aura, Little White subconsciously burrowed into her arms. This sudden change in temperature made Little White feel like he was really going to die. Not every divine beast could endure the demonic aura entering their body. Master, you're really ruthless. Seeing Little White's trembling body, Su Wu had no choice. After sending Su Pei away, she carried Little White back to her bed. Just like before, she carried him and let him nestle in her warm blanket. Meanwhile, Su Wan's hand was placed on Little White's body. She slowly transferred her spiritual power to him. After a while, the cold aura on Little White's body finally dissipated. Slowly, white and translucent silk-like white threads flowed out of his body, wrapping him up. As time went on, the white threads slowly turned black. Half black and half white. What was this? Suwoo didn't know anything about this. But for Little White's safety, she quietly watched over him until the sun was about to rise. After confirming that Little White wouldn't be in any danger, Suwoo finally closed her eyes and slept for a while. Before she could truly fall asleep, she was woken up by the movements beside her. A pair of smooth and warm arms unknowingly climbed onto her body. Suwoo suddenly opened her eyes and lifted her arm, elbowing it in a familiar manner. Millimeter, the person she hit, held his stomach and opened his clear and innocent eyes, looking at her pitifully. Xiaowu, be good. Why did you hit me? It hurts. Suwoo was speechless. What was going on? Why did she hear Little White talking to her? Suwoo turned her head and met the eyes of the young man by the bed. Long Li. Seeing a naked handsome young man lying on her bed, and this handsome young man was the one that the previous owner of this body had a crush on, how could Suwoo remain calm? Millimeter, the Long Li on the bed flipped over and laid on his stomach. He batted his long eyelashes and smiled at Suwoo. I knew you liked me like this. Come, Xiaowu, be good. Hug. Scram. Suwoo hurriedly jumped off her bed in shock. You, just who are you? You're Little White. That's right. The handsome young man in front of her was indeed the divine beast Little White. Last night, Surui used the demonic sword to injure Little White. In reality, he was just seriously carrying out the demon race's contract ceremony. Now, Little White had truly recognized Surui as his master. Surui's demonic aura had also broken the demonic seal in Little White's body. After the seal disappeared, Little White recovered his spiritual power. At the same time, according to the divine beast's transformation pattern, he could automatically transform into the appearance he wanted to transform into. Because Little White was awakened by Suwoo, he naturally had deep feelings for her. In the past, when he was with Suwoo, he always heard people say that Suwoo had a crush on Long Li. At that time, Little White had also seen Long Li from afar. Therefore, when he transformed, he subconsciously transformed into Long Li's appearance. As the saying goes, women are afraid of pestering men. General Su's ultimate move this time was the divine beast Little White. That's right. Little White was actually one of the male supporting roles in this world. He had another name in his clan, Bai Mulin. Ever since Little White transformed into Long Li, he chased after Suwoo all day, begging for hugs. He caused Suwoo's residence to be in chaos. As for this fake Master Long that suddenly appeared, Su family gradually became numb from the initial shock. Especially after seeing that this Master White who looked exactly like Master Long was actually an advanced summoner, Su-Ya was so happy that he was ready to marry his daughter to him. Suwoo was speechless. So in the end, I'm still a stepmother, right? In order to avoid Su-Ya's forced marriage, Suwoo dragged the simple-minded Su Chuan and a few friends out of Mate City to train in the Sunset Mountains. Surui naturally had a good grasp of Suwoo's whereabouts. Without another word, he kicked Bai Mulin to the Sunset Mountains. Coincidentally, there was a magical beast king there. Getting rid of him would be the best of both worlds. 3 years later, Long Qianzhan officially stepped down as the Castellan of Mate City a month ago. The new Castellan was chosen by the royal family, and in the end, Su-Ya became the Castellan. Not only did Master Su advance from a Grade 2 summoner to a Grade 1, but he also became the Castellan of the city from the head of the family. This was double happiness for the Su family. Of course, Su-Ya had been thinking about something else all this time. When his son and daughter-in-law gave him a fat grandson, Master Su would feel that his life was complete. Su Rui and Su Wan were powerless towards Su-Ya's wish, but it didn't mean that others couldn't either. When Su Wu, who hadn't returned for 3 years, returned to Mate City with her family, Castellan Su was grinning from ear to ear. Although Su Wu wasn't as domineering as she was in the original plot, she had a loyal divine beast husband and a little bun by her side. The family of 3 also took in a magical beast king as a mount in the Sunset Mountains. A certain golden python king. Sniff sniff sniff, this is an unlucky year. If I hadn't been injured by the Demon King's sickle back then, how could I have been defeated by you guys? By Mulin, this is fate. That's right. This is fate. Everyone's life would walk on a completely different path under fate's arrangements. For example, Xiao Yang, who was far away in the imperial capital, was already with Zhao Kuiying. As usual, Zhao Weining was also walking on the path of a vicious supporting female character who wanted to steal her brother-in-law. Back then, Su Wu's friends who went to the Sunset Mountains with her had all achieved success and recognition. A large group of famous summoners walked out of Mate City. This city had become Arinda Country's representative city. Although it belonged to Arinda Country, everyone on the mainland knew that this city belonged to Su Wu. Ever since Castellan Su had a grandson, he immediately passed the Castellan position to Su Rui and went home to play with his grandson. While the entire Mate City, the entire Arinda Country, and even the entire mainland were anxiously waiting to see how the genius Master Su was going to develop Mate City, Su Rui tossed his hands and handed Mate City over to Su Wu and Bai Mulin. Xiao Bai, I'm going back to the demon realm. You and Xiao Wu have to look after our family. Before I come back, don't leave Mate City. Back then, his words before he left still lingered in their ears. Now, Bai Mulin, screw you. Screw you. Cough, I think is talking about me. In short, Su Zhon, you heartless person. You and your wife left just like that. And this time, you'll be gone for the rest of your life. You can't play with me like this, okay? This divine beast wanted to take my wife and children to explore the mainland while I was still young. But because of your words, I'm trapped in a city for the rest of my life. The rest of my life, Tilda, that's right. After Su Wu and her family of 3 returned home, Su Wan received the news that the mission was successful. There were many talented people in this world. Su Wu was no longer the high and mighty female lead and she wasn't with Xiao Yang. But, wouldn't she be happy if she wasn't the female lead? There were many times when happiness was in the palm of your hand. As long as you were willing to hold it tightly, it definitely wouldn't slip away. Before Su Wan and Su Rui left the mainland, they went to see Su Qing. Su Qing was a grade 1 summoner in name and in reality. His future was limitless. It could even be said that he was the new main lead in this world that Su Wan and Su Rui personally created. Try and see if my cooking skills have deteriorated or not. Before they parted ways, Su Qing personally cooked a feast for the two. Back in Su family village, Su Wan promised Su Qing that she would try his cooking when she had time. Now was the time for her to fulfill her promise. This could also be considered as a perfect ending to the long-lost first love on behalf of the original owner of the body. After eating, Su Rui left with Su Wan. They weren't going back to the demon realm. They were going to leave this mainland. Su Qing had been standing on the hillside watching the two leave together. He couldn't help but smile faintly. Xiao Wan, you're so lucky. Chapter 264. The water in the shower continued to flow downwards. The entire bathroom was covered in mist. Su Wan opened her eyes to find that she was curled up in a corner of the bathroom. The pure white towel on her body was already wet. The 60-something degree hot water poured on her head. Su Wan uncomfortably wiped her face and supported herself against the pure white ceramic tile to stand up. This was a luxurious guest room in a star hotel. She only needed to look at the bathroom's decorations to understand. Slowly walking to the sink, Su Wan lifted her hand to wipe away the mist on the mirror. A beautiful but pale face was reflected in the clean mirror. Movie Empress Su Wan. Her identity in this mission world. Su Wan lifted her hand to touch her face. In this world, next month was the original body, Su Wan's 30th birthday. 30 years old. To an ordinary woman, she was no longer young. Thankfully, in the entertainment circle, female stars were good at taking care of their skin. Even if she was 30 years old, the owner of this body could still act as an 18-year-old girl in any TV series without any pressure. The original body was discovered by a talent scout when she was 17 years old. She acted while going to school. Now that she had entered the industry for 12 years, she was fully deserving of being a movie empress. In China's entertainment circle, everyone thought that she was a winner in life. Before 30 years old, she was already the #1 sister in the entertainment circle. She had won 2 movie Empress Awards. Plus, she had a rich boyfriend who loved her a lot. Lu Jun, the male lead of this world. He was Su Wan's biggest fan and also her boyfriend. He was her ex now. Just 3 months ago, Lu Jun was planning to propose to Su Wan on her 30th birthday. Then the two would enter the wedding hall as expected. But this was only 3 months ago. Just 2.5 months ago, Lu Jun got into an accident on his way home from a business meeting. He was unconscious in the hospital for a day. When Su Wan finished her work and flew back to see him, Lu Jun broke up with her indifferently. The two had been together for 5 years. Because of the Lu family's strict rules, the two had always treated each other with respect and didn't cross the bottom line. Su Wan had always thought that Lu Jun didn't love her as much as she imagined. Therefore, while she felt hurt when Lu Jun suddenly broke up, she couldn't accept his so-called incompatible personalities excuse at all. The two had a huge fight in the hospital. The photos of the fight were taken by the paparazzi from the biggest Rising Sun magazine in the entertainment circle. The next day, the news of Su Wan being dumped by Lu Jun immediately appeared on the headlines of major media outlets. From then on, Su Wan started getting into trouble. The water in the entertainment circle was very deep. It might be very difficult for a person to become famous overnight from an invisible person, but it was not impossible to pull a person down from the altar and make her infamous overnight. After Su Wan and Lu Jun broke up, the paparazzi from Shuri magazine dug out photos of Su Wan attending a gathering of wealthy businessmen when she wasn't that popular yet. The report hinted that Lu Jun dumped Su Wan because of her improper behavior and seducing men. For a moment, the image that Su Wan had built up in the entertainment circle for 12 years collapsed. At this time, there really were prostitutes in the entertainment circle who went to look for Su Wan. As it turned out, after the news of her breaking up with Lu Jun got out of hand, many wealthy businessmen who had their eyes on her went to Lu Jun to find out what was going on. They found out that Lu Jun really didn't care about her. The wealthy businessman who had been drooling over her beauty didn't hesitate to make a move. Su Wan naturally rejected this sudden business. She admitted that she did like money. Back then, she got together with Lu Jun because of his family background. But not everyone could enter her eyes. Didn't she keep her chastity all these years because she wanted to leave the entertainment circle and marry into a rich and powerful family with a justifiable reason? After Su Wan rejected the wealthy businessman, some people started to trip her up, causing her to lose a few endorsements and film contracts. At the same time, there were more and more reports on her scandals in the major newspapers and magazines. They were getting more and more realistic. People's mouths could melt gold. In the entertainment circle, who could tell what was real and what was fake? Especially a female celebrity who stood in a high position. There were many people who were fans of her, but there were even more people who didn't like her. The internet was scary and the power of anti-fans was boundless. While she was under pressure, Su Wan thought of asking Lu Jun for help. After all, the two of them had been together for 5 years. Even if they weren't sincere, they still had some feelings for each other, right? Su Wan disguised herself and went to Lu Jun's villa alone. When they broke up, she didn't return the keys to the villa to Lu Jun. Therefore, this time, Su Wan easily entered Lu Jun's private villa. But as soon as she entered, she saw Lu Jun and another woman lingering on the sofa. At this moment, she finally understood that Lu Jun's so-called incompatible personalities was just an excuse for him to fall in love with someone else. What Su Wan couldn't accept the most was that she actually knew the woman with Lu Junyi Liu, an unknown person in the entertainment circle. She had been playing small roles in the film and television city for a living. Later on, Su Wan's manager, Wu Tong, met her by chance. Because he noticed that her back was really similar to Su Wan's, Wu Tong signed a contract with Yi Liu and let her be Su Wan's substitute. She was a movie empress, but she was stolen by a substitute who played small roles. Su Wan naturally rushed up to teach Yi Liu a lesson, but Lu Jun protected Yi Liu fiercely. Plus, He even said on the spot that if Su Wn dared to touch Yi Liu, he would ban Su Wn from the entertainment circle. Ban her? What an arrogant tone. Su Wan returned to her apartment, flustered and exasperated. She immediately called Wu Tong and told him about Yi Liu and Lu Jun. Wu Tong thought that this was an opportunity for Su Wan to turn the situation around and gain sympathy. Therefore, he immediately contacted a few magazines he was familiar with and exposed Lu Jun and Yi Liu's hot news. These magazines sent people to wait outside Lu Jun's private villa. They really did manage to take intimate photos of Lu Jun and Yi Liu. Once the news came out, the internet went into an uproar. The originally unknown Yi Liu immediately became a trending topic. She was even called a shameless mistress by the water army hired by Wu Tong. Right at this time, Lu Jun suddenly posted a long post on Weibo. One was to clarify that he and Yi Liu only got together after breaking up with Su Wan. The other was to publicly declare that Yi Liu was his true love. The two of them regretted not meeting each other earlier and that he wouldn't marry anyone other than Yi Liu. This affectionate confession immediately caused a large group of netizens to bow down to President Lu's handsome and affectionate expression. At this time, the water army hired by Wu Tong also started betraying him and attacking Su Wan because they accepted Lu Jun's money. What did it mean to suffer a double loss? This was it. This time, Su Wan really had nowhere else to go. She wasn't willing to let the image she had painstakingly built up be destroyed. She also couldn't lose her position in the circle after losing the chance to marry into an aristocratic family. Therefore, she finally hardened her heart and quietly contacted a young master from an influential family who had always been interested in her. This young master Chen was a well-known romantic figure, but his family had money and power. Su Wan couldn't care too much at this time. At this time, she could only use her body to exchange for her future and prospects. Su Wan, you're not done yet? Master Chen's impatient voice rang from outside the bathroom. Su Wan turned around and adjusted the water temperature of the shower. Then she opened the bathroom door. Seeing her wet appearance, Master Chen couldn't help but furrow his brows. What are you doing? Master Chen, I accidentally wet my bathrobe. Go wash it first. I've adjusted the water temperature. I'll call the front desk and have them send a new bath towel over. Su Wan lowered her eyebrows and whispered. Hearing her words, although Master Chen was a bit unhappy, he still nodded. Okay, hurry up. Okay. Seeing Master Chen enter the bathroom, Su Wan immediately returned to the bedroom in the suite. She wiped the water off her body and quickly changed her clothes. Then she hurriedly called Wu Tong. Wu Tong. Sister Wan, why, don't talk nonsense. Drive the car to the back door of the hotel. Wait for me in the car. Su Wan anxiously hung up. She knew that in a few minutes, the guest room would be surrounded by a group of paparazzi. What she needed to do now was to leave this place as soon as possible. Chapter 265. When Su Wan hurriedly came out from the back door of the hotel, Wu Tong's black Lexus was already parked there. Su Wan quickly opened the car door and jumped in. Take a few laps and then take me to eat. Throwing down this sentence, Su Wan immediately buckled the cap on her head on her face and her whole body relaxed as she leaned on the back seat. Seeing that Su Wan seemed to be really tired, Wu Tong didn't say anything. He started the car and slowly drove out of the street. This car was his private property. The media hadn't dug it out, but for safety reasons, he still followed Su Wan's orders and drove a few laps around the city. Right now, Su Wan was still leaning against the back seat. She looked like she was taking a nap, but in reality, Su Wan was quietly thinking about the plot of this world. This was a novel world about rebirth in the entertainment circle, and Lu Jun was the male lead of this world who had been reborn. In her past life, Lu Jun successfully proposed on Su Wan's birthday. After the two got married, because of the Lu family's strict rules, Su Wan gave up her career in the entertainment circle and focused on becoming a rich and powerful woman. Lu Jun's mother, Madame Lu, was a famous iron lady in the upper class. She was very domineering and had always looked down on Su Wan's background. Thankfully, Su Wan was good at acting. Even if she disliked Madame Lu, she still acted like a sensible daughter-in-law on the surface and did everything she should do. Originally, this could be considered a happy and peaceful life. But at this time, the financial crisis struck and the Lu family's business suffered a huge blow. At such a crucial moment, Lu Jun's business rival, the second master of the Yi family, Yi Shaochuan, found Su Wan. He gave Su Wan a sum of money and told her to help him steal a very important document from Lu Jun. Su Wan actually agreed. Fine. Su Wan was speechless at such a miraculous plot. Therefore, don't try to talk logic with the authors of romance novels because they were just a bunch of people with no logic at all. In short, in order to let the male lead and female lead be together, all the supporting characters and cannon fodder's IQ and behavior were hopelessly stupid. Therefore, under the arrangement of the powerful plot god, Su Wan was possessed and actually stole her husband's business contract that was worth tens of billions for a bit of money. In the end, she successfully made her husband bankrupt. After the Lu family went bankrupt, Su Wan immediately divorced Lu Jun and left the country with the money Yi Shaochuan gave her. Lu Jun lost everything just like that. Madame Lu couldn't take this blow and passed away because she couldn't take this blow. Right now, as the villain boss, Yi Shaochuan, he couldn't help but use one of the villain's necessary skills. He appeared in front of Lu Jun proudly and mocked him while exposing Su Wan's true colors. Feeling that he had been deceived by his beloved wife, Lu Jun, who had suffered a serious blow, was unable to recover from this setback. From a dignified young master of a wealthy family, he had become a vagabond. At this time, the male lead's life appeared. On the way home, Yi Liu encountered the starving and cold Lu Jun. Because she had seen Lu Jun a few times while working for Su Wan, she took him home after recognizing him. From then on, the innocent minor character started to take care of Lu Jun slowly. Lu Jun started to believe in love again. The two fell in love after interacting with each other day and night. However, Yi Liu had no choice but to work harder to be a substitute for minor characters in the film and television city. In the end, when she was participating in a drama of the Republic of China, there was a problem with the props. During an explosion scene, Yi Liu accidentally got seriously injured and lay unconscious in the hospital. Lu Jun was filled with regret after hearing this news. He ran out of the house like a madman, wanting to visit the seriously injured Yi Liu in the hospital. In the end, he got into a car accident on the way. By the time Lu Jun woke up from the car accident, he realized that he had returned to 2 years ago. This was the most precious gift that the heavens had given him. After seeing Su Wan in the hospital, he broke up with her without hesitation. After leaving the hospital, Lu Jun searched for Yi Liu everywhere. When he saw the busy and smiling girl in the film and television city again, his heart involuntarily skipped a beat. Lu Jun told himself that he had to protect Yi Liu for the rest of his life. He had to give his best to her. He had to make Yi Liu the happiest woman in the world. He had to help Yi Liu realize her dream of becoming a movie empress. Sister Wan, we're here. Wu Tong's voice rang in Su Wan's ears. Su Wan looked up to see the familiar words Yu Ding Xian outside the car window. This was a chain restaurant opened by a director's wife. Su Wan was a frequent customer here. Let's go. Su Wan casually took out her sunglasses and put them on. She quickly walked into the restaurant with Wu Tong. Under the familiar manager's lead, the two came to a very elegant private room. Sister Wan, what do you want to eat? The manager was familiar with Su Wan a long time ago. Although there had been a lot of negative news about Su Wan recently, business people had to smile and greet people. They couldn't be careless at all. Just the same as usual. Su Wan did not look at the menu and lightly whispered a sentence. The lobby manager on the side immediately nodded and quickly retreated. Seeing that the door to the private room was closed, Wu Tong couldn't help but push a chair over to Su Wan and sit down. Sister Wan, what happened? Did the paparazzi find out about that? Hearing Wu Tong's words, Su Wan snorted coldly. Someone leaked the news in advance and attracted the paparazzi. If I leave late, I'll definitely be caught red-handed. In the original plot, Su Wan was trapped in a hotel room by a group of people. From then on, her reputation plummeted. Because of this, she was even frozen by her own company. All of her contracts and endorsements were stopped. When she returned a year later, she had gone from being an A-lister to a B-lister. At that time, Yi Liu, with Lu Jun's help, steadily made her way in the entertainment circle step by step. She went from an invisible person to the representative of the new generation of little empresses. Yi Liu's success was the most blatant mockery to Su Wan. She used her connections again and again and even took the initiative to talk to the company's boss. She was willing to lower her status. Unfortunately, time didn't wait for her. The entertainment circle was past its prime. If she didn't have a heaven-defying opportunity, wanting to make a comeback was just a pipe dream. Her career and love didn't go smoothly, causing Su Wan to become addicted to drugs. She sought comfort in the illusion and she quickly became haggard. In the end, by chance, Su Wan and Yi Liu appeared in the same production team again. This time, she had to act as a supporting role for Yi Liu. Su Wan's self-esteem couldn't accept this. She purposely made things difficult for Yi Liu during filming. In the end, the male lead who came to visit her happened to see her. As a result, Su Wan thoroughly angered the male lead. Then, someone reported her for taking drugs. Later, she was suspected of hiding drugs and was arrested. Right now, not only was her career bleak, she even had to face the situation of being imprisoned. Disheartened, Su Wan chose to commit suicide in the detention center in the end. This was the life of a cannon fodder movie empress. Su Wan sat in Yu Dingxian's private room right now. Her gaze froze and a cold glint flashed in her eyes. Lu Jun, the past life and this life are debts. The original owner paid with her life. This time, I'm going to get an explanation for her. Sister Wan? Feeling Su Wan's coldness, Wu Tong couldn't help but become serious. Do you know who harmed you? Heh. Who else could it be? They say that even if we meet again, we're still friends. Lu Jun really did this to me for Yi Liu. Su Wan smiled in disdain. I'll remember this debt. I'll settle it with him in the future. Mr. Lu. Wu Tong's gaze darkened hearing Su Wan's words. Lu Jun was rich and powerful. He and Su Wan couldn't win against him. Sister Wan, the company will probably give Mr. Lu face. Let's keep a low profile for now. Wu Tong was just a manager. He didn't have much say in the company, but he had been by Su Wan's side for 10 years. He naturally sided with Su Wan. Low profile? No, Wu Tong, call all the media. I'm terminating my contract with Sinu Entertainment. What? Wu Tong stood up in shock. Sister Wan, you still have 3 years left on your contract. Although she could gain a certain amount of attention by terminating the contract, she needed to pay a large sum of money for breaching the contract. Plus, Sinu Entertainment was one of the top entertainment companies in the circle. Where could Su Wan go if she left the company? What development could she get if she went to a small company and became the first sister? What are you nervous for? If there's no one here, there'll be a place for them. Saying this, Su Wan waved her phone in her hand. Her fingers slid and stopped on a name in her contact list. Yi Xiaochuan, Yi family's second master. He was the villain who defeated Lu Jun in her past life, but in this life, he could only obediently be cannon fodder in front of the reborn male lead. But even if second master Yi fell, there was still Yi family's third master. Yi family's third master, Yi Shaoling. A financial genius who graduated from a famous overseas university. After Yi Xiaochuan was eliminated by Lu Jun, third master Yi successfully returned to China and took over the great but bitter job of being a villain boss and a passionate supporting male. If there were no surprises, Su Wan's identity in this world was definitely Yi Shaoling. Chapter 266. After eating at Yu Dingxian, Su Wan and Wu Tong wanted to drive back to the apartment. But the moment they exited the restaurant, they were caught by the reporters waiting at the entrance. Therefore, don't underestimate an entertainment reporter's abilities. Their investigation and counter-investigation abilities were sometimes more professional than the criminal police. Sue Wan. Someone said they saw you and Master Chen checking into a room at the International Hotel. What do you have to say about this? Sue Wan. Someone exposed that you hired a water army to defame Yi Liu online. Is this true? Surrounded by a large group of people, Sue Wan watched as their eyes lit up, wishing for her to immediately make a mistake. Sue Wan just smiled indifferently. I just finished eating. It's not easy being a reporter. Have you all eaten on such a cold day? Do you want me to treat you? Ah. The group was silent hearing Sue Wan's words. In the end, Shuri magazine's reporter reacted first. Sue Wan, you haven't answered our question yet. Did you go to the International Hotel today? What do you think about Yi Liu being slandered? Ayo, you're so dedicated. Sue Wan still wore a faint smile. I went to the hotel today, but I can't tell you who I went to see for now. If you guys have time tomorrow, you can come to my press conference. Everything will be clear by then. Also, I'm not familiar with Master Chen. He's a master of the upper class and I'm just a small actor. How would I know such a high-level person? Don't write nonsense. I'm actually fine. I'm willing if you guys want to give me more exposure. But I heard that Master Chen is really strong. It wouldn't be good if I accidentally offend him. Speaking till here, Sue Wan purposely revealed a nervous expression. Her words also successfully made the expressions of the people around her change. Entertainment magazines had always been untrustworthy, and those entertainment reporters had always been untrustworthy. Usually, these stars would take the initiative to cooperate with the media for hype and exposure. For rich and powerful people like Lu Jun and young Master Chen, if their reports did not have real evidence, they really could not write about it. Seeing that the reporters understood, Sue Wan smiled and continued, "Oh right, you guys just asked who I was. Is it Yi Qin? No, I think it's Yi Liu. Who is Yi Liu?" Saying this, Sue Wan tilted her head to look at Wu Tong beside her. She wore a confused expression, asking for his help. Seeing Sue Wan's expression, Wu Tong also furrowed his brows in deep thought. Yi Liu. She's the person who acted as a substitute for you in the past, right? It seemed like the internet was saying that she was dating Mr. Lu. Aya, she used to like to hang around in front of Mr. Lu. Wu Tong, don't speak nonsense. Sue Wan smiled and raised her hand to stop Wu Tong's following words. In the entertainment circle, I entertain you and you entertain me. When accepting these reporters' interviews, they had to speak ambiguously. They had to be able to attack or retreat. That was interesting. Sue Wan, you really don't know Yi Liu? She is Lu Jun's current girlfriend. Yeah. Lu Jun even confessed to Yi Liu on Weibo. Right now, a lot of your fans have been leaving comments on Yi Liu's official Weibo to insult her. Sue Wan, do you really not know about this? Clearly, the entertainment reporters didn't plan on buying Sue Wan's bullshit at all. Since they couldn't make an issue out of Master Chen's matter, they had to force Sue Wan and Yi Liu out no matter what. It would be best if they could make a big fight between old and new love. That way, they would be able to sell it. It seems like everyone is sure that I know her. I've been in the entertainment circle for 12 years. There are at least dozens of people who have acted as substitutes for me, if not 100. I really can't remember that many people. Speaking of Lu Jun, I've already broken up with him. We broke up peacefully due to our personalities being incompatible. I've always been a very rational person. Let's part on good terms. I don't want to say much in case people say that I, Sue Wan, am using this to gain sympathy. If you guys really care about my current situation, I'll say it again. Come to my press conference tomorrow. I'll definitely answer all your questions. Saying this, Sue Wan gave Wu Tong a look. Seeing that the two were about to leave, a young female reporter couldn't help but walk up and block Sue Wan's path. Sue Wan, you haven't, Chem? Apple Daily Newspaper? Sue Wan interrupted the female reporter, her expression a bit playful. Apple Daily Newspaper's boss and Lu Jun were good friends. In the past, Su WN had given them quite a bit of exclusive news. Now that she and Lu Jun had a falling out, Apple Daily newspaper was starting to latch onto her. They were really heartless. Wu Tong, remember to notify the security tomorrow. Don't let anyone from Apple Daily newspaper enter the press conference. Hearing Su Wan's words, the reporters froze. They had only heard of reporters going against celebrities, but this was the first time they had seen a celebrity so brazenly going against a reporter. Even a big-name movie queen would have to think twice. After all, Apple Daily newspaper was a famous newspaper in the industry. Although its sales couldn't be compared to Shuri's, it was a daily newspaper that specialized in entertainment. Its daily sales were also very impressive. The female reporter froze hearing Su Wan's words. Then excitement flickered through her eyes. She grabbed the chance and asked sharply, "Movie Empress Su, are you planning on banning our small newspaper?" Banning? That's an interesting phrase. Su WN smiled, her bright and beautiful eyes sweeping over everyone. In the end, her gaze landed on the female reporter. "That's right. That's what I'm going to do. Seal. You. From now on, I, Su WAN, ban all reporters from Apple Daily newspaper from entering all of my press conferences and press conferences." Hiss. Everyone sucked in a cold breath. They'd heard of entertainment companies and SARFT banning celebrities, but had they ever seen a celebrity banning a media outlet? Wasn't this a joke? While everyone was still in a daze, Su WN had already pulled Wu Tong into the car and left. In the car, Wu Tong's expression hadn't calmed down yet. "Sister WAN, what you said today was a joke, right?" According to Wu Tong's professional sensitivity, he felt that Su WN purposely said this to divert the media's attention. Tomorrow, her bold words about banning Apple Daily newspaper would definitely make the headlines. Tomorrow was also the day of her press conference. With this news as the foundation, the press conference tomorrow would definitely be lively. By then, as long as Su WN thought of a way to make up for what she said today, everyone would be happy. As for slapping herself in the face and whatnot as an artist, why did they need to care about their reputation? Appearance rate, exposure rate, and fame were what they pursued with all their might. In the car, Su WAN smiled nonchalantly hearing Wu Tong's question. "I'm not joking. I'm really going to ban Apple Daily newspaper." Wu Tong was speechless. Damn. Sister WAN had been acting weird tonight. Did Lu Jun force her brain to be in a mess? International Hotel, room 5080. While Chen Xiao was making love with the new model, the door of the hotel room was suddenly opened by someone from the outside with a spare room card. "Who are you guys?" When a group of men in black rushed in, Master Chen only had time to pull a thin blanket to cover his lower body. "Master Chen, sorry to disturb you." Following a slightly amused voice, the men in black on both sides automatically moved aside. A young man wearing a white suit walked out leisurely. People who didn't know better would think that he was some society's godfather. "Yi Shaochuan? What are you doing?" Master Chen narrowed his eyes and looked at Yi Shaochuan confusedly. The two naturally knew each other. It was just that they weren't in the same circle, so they rarely saw each other. What was he doing? Yi Shaochuan's eyes twitched hearing Master Chen's question. Who the hell knew what he was doing? Cough. Third brother. Yi Shaochuan smiled and held his phone. Looking at the handsome man with a hazy gaze in the video, he said calmly, "The Master Chen you're looking for is here. MN. There's also a model next to him. Her figure isn't bad. Do you want to take a look?" "Where's Su Wan?" The person in the video asked coldly without a change in expression. "Hey, our third brother is asking you. Where's Su Wan?" Hearing his brother's words, Yi Shaochuan immediately turned the phone and pointed the camera at Master Chen's pale and skinny face. Master Chen's gaze flickered hearing Yi Shaochuan's question. He had played with many women over the years. What kind of situation hadn't he encountered? Seeing the Yi brothers' imposing manner, Master Chen immediately felt confident. "You're looking for Miss Su? I'm not familiar with her. Plus, it's impossible for me to see her in this hotel. But I have her manager's number. I can give it to you. Speak." The cold voice continued to ring through the video. Master Chen was straightforward. He took the phone and found Wu Tong's number, reading it out loud. Beep beep. As soon as Master Chen said this, Yi Shaochuan's video signal was cut off. Yi Shaochuan, screw you. Would it kill you to chat with your brother more? Chapter 267. Su Wan's apartment was in the 3rd Ring Road. She used all of her savings to buy this apartment after winning an award 5 years ago. It was a gift to reward herself. Other people only saw the glamorous appearance of an artist, but in reality, their expenses were also frighteningly huge. Every time they walked the red carpet, those expensive jewelry and gowns would cost 6 or even 7 figures to custom make. For an artist of Su Wan's level, this was still within the scope of what they could afford. As for those 2nd or even 3rd-tier artists, the gowns they wore on the red carpet were borrowed by sponsors. Both parties mutually benefited and they had to return it after wearing it once. Of course, there were some third-rate celebrities who wore pirated gowns on the red carpet to gain attention. But to be honest, in this era, the media had to support and report on you to gain exposure. If the media didn't care about you, it was useless even if you ran naked on the red carpet. To celebrities, the media was like fish in water. Therefore, it was rare to see celebrities who dared to openly challenge the media like Su Wan. However, Su Wan wasn't really arrogant and conceited. With the competition between traditional media and online media, Apple Daily Newspaper's performance kept on declining. Many new media had more influence than them. Back then, when Su Wan and Lu Jun were together, they helped Apple Daily Newspaper offend many other media outlets. Now, Su Wan planned on trampling Apple Daily Newspaper to death and then working with other media outlets that she thought highly of. This was the wisest choice. Sister Wan, rest well. Wu Tong's expression was complicated seeing Su Wan sitting on the sofa in a daze after returning to her room. He hesitated for a while, wanting to say something, but his phone suddenly rang. Not many people knew about Wu Tong's private number. Therefore, after the phone rang, Wu Tong picked it up. Give the phone to Su Wan. A very cold male voice rang from the phone. Wu Tong felt his scalp tingle hearing this voice. Who are you? Though Wu Tong was shocked by the imposing voice, as a professional manager, he naturally wouldn't let his celebrity pick up an unknown person's phone. I'm Yi Shaoling. Yi Shaoling? Wu Tong couldn't help but ask, a trace of surprise in his voice. He'd heard of this name before. Yi Shaoling, Yi family's 3rd master. Give me the phone. At this time, Su Wan naturally heard Wu Tong's exclamation. Her gaze flickered and she stood up. Oh. Wu Tong subconsciously passed the phone to Su Wan. In the end, Su Wan turned around and walked into her bedroom with the phone. I'm Su Wan. Su Wan closed the bedroom door, leaned against the wall and softly whispered. Hearing her voice, the person on the other end of the phone couldn't help but chuckle. Wife, it's me. Did that Chen guy do anything to you? Heh. Su Wan smiled and slowly walked to the bedside with the phone. She laid comfortably on the big bed and looked at the bright crystal lamp on the ceiling. Her voice was light and quick as she replied, What can he do to me? I, your wife, am not as weak as you think. Su Wan had been through too many mission worlds and seen all kinds of joys and sorrows. Speaking of the ability to protect herself, she actually had a lot. Hearing Su Wan's answer, Su Rui naturally heaved a sigh of relief. If that person surnamed Chen dared to touch a single strand of his wife's hair, General Su would definitely make him die miserably. Are you still abroad? Actually, when Su Wan picked up the phone, she saw the number and knew that it was an international call. Thinking about it, it made sense. If Su Rui was really in the country, he would have appeared in front of her a long time ago. He definitely wouldn't have just made a phone call. Su Rui answered on the phone. There are some very important things to take care of at home. I can't get away for a while. I'll send you my eldest and second brother's private numbers in a while. If you have something, call them. No need to go through so much trouble. Su Wan smiled. I can handle Lu Jun by myself. Maybe in other people's eyes, Su Wan was a small celebrity and Lu Jun. They weren't on the same level as the dignified CEO Lu Jun. But in Su Wan's eyes, Lu Jun was just an ordinary mission target in the many worlds she had experienced. Reborn. She'd seen a lot. Worth tens of billions. She'd made a lot of people bankrupt too. Actually, mission enforcers who were familiar with the plot and had been through many worlds had countless professional skills. They had many ways to kill someone. But Su Wan always thought that attacking a person's heart was the best. It was easy to make someone die, but it was hard to make them regret and wish they were dead. Hearing Su Wan's answer, Su Rui couldn't help but smile. I know you can do it by yourself, but you have me now. I don't want you to be so tired. The two of them were together. He wanted to spoil her and give her the best in the world. I'm not tired at all after having you. Speaking of which, I seem to have caused you to keep dropping in the rankings. Your points haven't increased in a long time, right? Su Wan suddenly thought of an important question. Su Rui used to be in the top 10 of their department. Who knew how far he'd been ranked now? Actually, she didn't have to complete the mission. If Su Rui was willing, she could even take the initiative to help him matchmake the male and female lead. This was a really easy thing to do. Wife. Hearing Su Wan's words, Su Rui thought for a moment. You'll go to the test, right? Test. Hearing Su Rui mention this, Su Wan's expression suddenly changed. Did Shu Ce choose you? Su Wan was a bit shocked, but then she thought of Su Rui's heaven-defying perception and immediately calmed down. This Shu Ce really didn't miss anything. He was really cunning. Shu Ce, he knows of my relationship with you. When I went back this time, he already submitted our department's name list. Wife, you should know that based on my ranking and qualifications, I actually can't be selected. This time, it was Shu Ce's unilateral decision. At the same time, he also proposed a condition. He wants to seal my memory before entering the test space. What? Hearing Su Rui's words, Su Wan suddenly sat up from the bed. So, you're saying, that's right. This time, Su Rui's voice became a bit strange. At that time, we'll be enemies. Wife, I won't go easy on you. So, you don't have to worry about my points. As expected, General Su, you're as confident as ever. It seems like you're determined to get the points reward for first place. Su Wan couldn't help but snort. Don't look down on others too much. I'm telling you, there are hidden talents in every department. Even if you can find everyone, can you guarantee that you have the ability to annihilate everyone? Annihilate? That's a pretty good suggestion. Su Rui, who was thousands of miles away, was currently sitting on a rocking chair. His gaze was serene as he held his phone and listened to Su Wan's words. The corners of his lips curled up and a silent smile flitted across his handsome face. The two chatted for a long time until Wu Tong's phone ran out of battery. Su Wan then told Su Rui her number. In the end, General Su's heart ached for his wife. In order to let her rest early, he reluctantly hung up the phone. Su Wan put down the phone and changed into her home clothes. She was planning on taking a shower and going to sleep when she suddenly remembered that she seemed to have forgotten something. She turned to leave the bedroom. As expected, she saw Wu Tong still lying on the sofa listlessly. You haven't left yet? Su Wan couldn't help but ask. Wu Tong was speechless. Sister Wan, my phone, Wu Tong answered weakly. He wasn't curious about Su Wan and Yi Shaoling's relationship. He was really just waiting for his phone because he promised his girlfriend that she would call him tonight. Phone? It's out of battery. Su Wan suddenly returned to the bedroom and handed the phone with a black screen to Wu Tong. No. Battery. Chapter 268. International Hotel, 12th floor. Su Wan's press conference started at 9 on time. This was her private press conference, so Wu Tong was in charge of everything. Yesterday, the news of Su Wan and Fang Yang banning Apple daily newspaper had spread on the internet. This morning, all the major entertainment newspapers had also published this explosive news. Right now, All of the famous entertainment magazines and newspapers in China had come to the press conference. Of course, Apple Daily newspaper was an exception. Seeing that there were no empty seats, Wu Tong couldn't help but reveal a smile. Sister Wan was still better than him. Right now, everyone was shocked by the news of her banning Apple Daily newspaper. Who still had the heart to care about the groundless rumors between her, Yi Liu, and Master Chen? When Su Wan wore a bright red dress and walked into everyone's line of sight, the flashes of the cameras went off one after another. Today, Su Wan was dressed splendidly. The bright red not only made her look more spirited but also vividly displayed her aura as the queen of the entertainment industry. Good morning, everyone. Before anyone could speak, Su Wan spoke first after sitting on the main seat. Facing the countless cameras, she smiled charmingly and said slowly, "Today's press conference is personally hosted by me. Before everyone asks questions, I want to announce something. I, Su Wan, will be terminating my contract with Sinu Entertainment from today onward." What? Oh my god. The entertainment reporters who were originally here to see Su Wan and Apple Daily newspaper argue were all in an uproar. Nani? Thankfully, we don't have heart problems. Empress Su, you're trying to give us a strong medicine, right? News is coming one after the other. Su Wan. The entertainment reporters were in an uproar. They all eagerly raised their hands, wanting to ask questions in advance. Seeing everyone acting like they were injected with chicken blood, Wu Tong stood up and pressed his hands down. Everyone, don't worry. Everyone will have the chance to ask questions today. Sister Wan has always been willing to cooperate with the media. I believe everyone knows her personality. Of course, we definitely won't tolerate those who purposely cause trouble or have ill intentions. Wu Tong's words sounded righteous, but in reality, he was warning the reporters. Ask questions. Sure, but don't be too presumptuous. Otherwise, you'll end up like Apple Daily newspaper. Seeing that the crowd had quietened down, Wu Tong smiled and said, "All right, let the questions begin." Mr. Shuri reporter, you go first. Wu Tong chose the most famous reporter, Shuri. Their reporters were also famous for being difficult to deal with. This male reporter from Shuri was the one who chased after Su Wan relentlessly last night. Seeing that his name was called, the male reporter quickly stood up with the microphone and a pair of sharp eyes looked straight into Su Wan's eyes. Facing the man's provocation, Su Wan raised her eyebrows and charmingly smiled at him. "This handsome guy, if you have any questions, feel free to ask." Ah! Dazed by Su Wan's smile, the male reporter froze before coming back to his senses. Su Wan, as far as I know, your contract with Sinu Entertainment still has 3 years left. Now that you're unilaterally declaring that you want to save money, you should be paying a huge sum of compensation, right? May I ask if you've already found your next employer, and if the other party is paying for your breach of contract? That's a good question. Su Wan winked at the man who asked the question. I was just about to tell everyone about this. Of course, don't misunderstand. I didn't spend money to hire this handsome guy. He's Shuri's chief entertainment reporter, Li Wei. I can't hire him. Su Wan winked at the man. Hearing Su Wan's teasing words, the reporters couldn't help but chuckle. Li Wei's expression also froze and he glanced at Su Wan, a bit surprised. Speaking of which, Li Wei was a genius in the entertainment circle. Back then, the photo of Su Wan and Lu Jun breaking up and quarreling was taken by this daring and meticulous reporter. He climbed several floors and took the photo from the window of the hospital room. His professionalism could be seen. Li Wei was famous for risking his life in the entertainment circle. Plus, he wasn't afraid of offending people and dared to publish any kind of report. With his exclusive reports and all kinds of news, he successfully sat firmly on the throne of Shuri's top entertainment reporter. This man wasn't normal. Seeing that the people had stopped laughing and the situation had calmed down, Su Wan said calmly, "I terminated my contract with Sinu Entertainment for personal reasons. As for my next employer, I haven't found one yet. This time, I need the media to help me advertise. I don't have high requirements. If there's an entertainment company that thinks highly of me and is willing to give me a 9-digit contract, then I'm willing to go through water and tread on fire for them. 9 digits. Everyone sucked in a cold breath. What did a 9-digit artist contract mean? This was a sky-high price. Su Wan, are you implying that Sinew Entertainment is paying you too little? Hearing Su Wan's words, Li Wei immediately followed up and quickly asked. The salary that Sinew is paying me is written in black and white in the contract. There's a confidentiality agreement, so I can't reveal it. Hearing Li Wei's question, Su Wan smiled and avoided it. Reporter Li, you have one last question left. 3 questions per person. This was the rule of her recruitment meeting. Li Wei smiled and continued to ask, then one last question. Last night, you said that you were going to ban Apple Daily newspaper. From what I know, the boss of Apple Daily newspaper is good friends with Mr. Lu Jun. Does this have anything to do with Mr. Lu Jun? Li Wei went around and around, but in the end, he still brought the topic to Lu Jun. I've been with Mr. Lu for 5 years and he helped me a lot. I'm really grateful to him. Now that we've broken up, I heard that he started a new relationship. I sincerely wish him well. You just said that the boss of Apple Daily newspaper is just Mr. Lu's friend and not Mr. Lu. Therefore, please don't implicate Mr. Lu Jun in this matter. He's not part of the circle. I hope that everyone won't disturb him and his lover because of me. Anyways, I won't make any unnecessary comments about Apple Daily newspaper. Everyone knows what's right and what's wrong. Thank you. Thank you. Li Wei's gaze flickered. In the end, he sat down unwillingly. Who here didn't know the relationship between Apple Daily newspaper and Su Wan? As for Apple Daily newspaper burning the bridge after crossing the river and relentlessly pursuing Su Wan, everyone had a tacit understanding. Okay, let's continue the questioning. At this time, Wu Tong stood up again and casually pointed at a female reporter sitting in the front row. The female reporter seemed really excited when she stood up. Su Wan, you left Sinew Entertainment and then offered a 9-digit salary. Have you ever thought that this sky-high salary would scare away a lot of companies that wanted to sign a contract with you? Since I can offer this price, then I, Su Wan, am worth this price. As for whether or not someone will sign me, let's wait and see. The entire press conference went on for an hour and a half. The reporter's questions basically revolved around terminating the contract with Sinew as well as the sky-high signing bonus. Everyone seemed to have forgotten why they came in the first place. After the press conference ended, Wu Tong brought all the reporters to the hotel's 15th floor buffet for a meal. Before they left, Su Wan even amiably took photos with all the reporters present to commemorate the occasion. The last to leave was Li Wei from Shuri. Do you want a photo? Seeing his cold expression, Su Wan couldn't help but lift her brows at him. I'll take a photo for you alone. Li Wei picked up the camera and said this while taking a photo of Su Wan alone. Hey, if your photo doesn't look good, then I'll get angry. Su Wan couldn't help but tease seeing Li Wei's perfunctory attitude. Shuri Entertainment's photos had always been famous for their ugliness. No matter how beautiful a female celebrity was, they would look like a passerby in their newspaper. You look beautiful no matter how you take a photo. Li Wei couldn't help but show Su Wan the photo he took. Seeing that she did look really beautiful in the photo, Su Wan nodded in satisfaction. You're much better than your family's photographer. Li Wei shrugged and smiled. Chapter 269. Before Su Wan left the International Hotel, she received a call from Sinew Entertainment's boss, Huang Qi. After all, he was her boss for many years. Su Wan and Huang Qi arranged to meet in a tea room on the 18th floor of the hotel. By the time Huang Qi arrived, Su Wan had already brewed tea. Dong Ting by Luo Chun. Boss Huang, try my cooking. Su Wan smiled and pushed the tea she brewed to Huang Qi. Huang Qi was in his early 40s this year. His face was thin but his gaze was sharp. Hearing Su Wan's words, Huang Qi boldly sat in front of Su Wan. Looking at the tender green tea in the teacup, he couldn't help but lower his head and sniff. Good tea, good cooking. By Luo Chun. The color of the tea was dark green and the fragrance of the tea was elegant. This was his favorite. After carefully tasting a few mouthfuls of tea, Huang Qi lifted his eyes, his gaze unsatisfied. His deep gaze fell on Su Wan's face. Su Wan, I've treated you well all these years. Shouldn't you give me and the company an explanation for today's matter? Because Su Wan suddenly terminated the contract, Xinyu Entertainment was immediately pushed to the heart of the struggle. Right now, the company's public relations were in a terrible state. Plus, Su Wan was considered a first-rate artist in Xinyu. Her departure would bring a lot of trouble to Xinyu. It wasn't something that could be resolved with a few days of news. I naturally know that Boss Huang treats me well. We've been friends for so many years. Boss Huang, you should know my temper. I'd rather die in glory than live in disgrace. Saying this, Su Wan lifted her hand and waved her fingers in front of Huang Qi. An investor just invested 55 million in Xinyu's new historical drama. I don't need to say who the investor is. Boss Huang, you know who the second female lead is, don't you? Boss Huang, no one will say no to money. I understand you and you should understand me too. It's not easy for us artists. Hearing Su Wan's words, Huang Qi's expression froze and then he laughed. Su Wan, we've been friends for so many years but you're just stubborn. I'm not a stingy person. Let's part on good terms. If there's a chance in the future, we can work together again. As for the penalty fee, I won't rush you. You can give it to me after you find a new company. What do you think? Brother Huang, you're the most straightforward. Hearing Huang Qi's words, Su Wan also smiled faintly. We'll definitely have the chance to cooperate in the future. Businessmen pursued profits. Huang Qi accepted Lu Jun's money, so it was understandable that he suppressed her and flattered Yi Liu. Other than this, Huang Qi was a righteous person. He was quite popular in the entertainment circle too. Su Wan was really willing to find a chance to work with a straightforward person like him. The two casually chatted for a bit in the tea room. Huang Qi took a call and then left in a hurry. Su Wan sipped her tea before slowly standing up. Before she left the tea room, she saw Yi Xiaochuan walking towards her. Second Master Yi always dressed up flashily. Today, he was wearing a red suit and a white shirt. From afar, he looked really eye-catching. Hello, Su Wan. Seeing that Su Wan was about to walk past him, Yi Xiaochuan chuckled and pulled her. Su Wan glanced at Yi Xiaochuan and then furrowed her brows. Master Yi, you called me? Oh. Yi Xiaochuan let go of his hand and looked at Su Wan playfully. Why are you calling me Master Yi? That sounds so distant. Come, call me second brother. I remember that we're the same age. Su Wan looked at Yi Xiaochuan calmly. My birthday is next month. What about you? Yi Xiaochuan was speechless. What did she mean? She wanted to compare who was older. Speaking of which, why did her brother suddenly fall in love with a woman in the entertainment circle? He even found a woman who was 3 years older than him. Although it was said that a woman who was 3 years older than herself, the Yi family didn't lack gold. Yi Xiaochuan snapped out of his trance and smiled at Su Wan. So it's your birthday next month. Remember to call me. I'm really older than you. Oh, second brother Yi. Su Wan nodded at Yi Xiaochuan. If there's nothing else, I'm going back first. I'll definitely call you during the birthday party. Hey, don't go. I know everything about you. What do you think? Are you interested in cooperating with me, your second brother? I'll open an entertainment company and you'll be the big sister. You can bully the artists and you can choose the endorsements. How about it? Chem. Su Wan narrowed her eyes hearing Yi Xiaochuan's words. Second brother Yi's suggestion is really tempting, but I've already found a new employer. What? Impossible. Yi Xiaochuan subconsciously denied Su Wan's words. With his connections and network, if Su Wan found a new employer, there was no way second Master Yi wouldn't hear about it. Plus, His precious brother told him to take good care of her. Why would I lie to you? Su Wn patted his shoulder and then whispered softly in Yi Shaochuan's ears, second brother, you still have to open an entertainment company. I'll introduce a few artists with good prospects to you. Of course, I won't be going. There's no point in earning my own money. Yi Shaochuan was speechless. Damn. You really think you're the young mistress of the Yi family? By the time Yi Shaochuan reacted, Su Wan had already walked away in her high heels. Yi Shaochuan couldn't help but pinch his chin seeing the red figure gradually disappearing. This woman was interesting. She wasn't like the other artists in the entertainment circle. She was really arrogant. What a pity, this was the woman that his younger brother had taken a liking to. Hey, what are you thinking, second young master? Chapter 270. While all the newspapers were reporting and guessing the inside story behind Su Wan terminating her contract with Sinew and who her new boss would be, Apple Daily newspaper suddenly published intimate photos of Su Wan and Yi Shaochuan. The two were really close to each other in the photo and they looked really happy. What caught people's attention was that Su Wan was wearing the red dress she wore at the press conference that day. Yi Shaochuan was also wearing red. It was hard not to think about such an obvious couple outfit. Hooking up with a rich young master and flying away from her old boss. Apple Daily newspaper's title went straight to the point. The content was even harshly mocking Su Wan for relying on Sinew and Lu Jun. Her life had been smooth sailing ever since she debuted. But now, after being dumped by Lu Jun, she quickly hooked up with the famous rich young master Yi Shaochuan. Plus, she didn't care about their relationship and unilaterally terminated her contract with Sinew. In short, Apple Daily newspaper listed Su Wan's 7 deadly sins. Sister Wan, you read the newspaper? Su Wan had just woken up when Wu Tong called. She answered the phone in a daze while putting on her clothes. What's wrong? Apple Daily newspaper published photos of you and Yi Shaochuan. The internet is in an uproar right now. There's also a group of fake reviewers who keep spreading rumors saying that you cheated on Yi Shaochuan when you were with Lu Jun. Su Wan put on her clothes and looked at her face in the mirror. Good, good. Even without makeup, she was still beautiful. She was finally older than General Su in this world. Su Wan felt really pressured. It'd be bad if she looked old if she fell in love with a younger man. Wu Tong, I remember that your girlfriend sells cosmetics. Do you have any good facial masks to recommend? Wu Tong was speechless. Sister Wan, are you sure your brain is working normally right now? Facial mask? You're still in the mood to put on a facial mask. It wasn't easy for us to regain our popularity and positive image, but now it's all gone. Sister Wan, do you think we should? Wu Tong. Su Wan interrupted Wu Tong again. You've been with me for 10 years. Don't you understand the entertainment circle? The amount of slander you can take is the amount of praise you can take. Your sister Wan, is definitely a goddess on the outside but a man on the inside. Don't worry. Spend more time with your little girlfriend these few days. We're going to get busy in a few days. Su Wan had always regarded herself as a bystander in this world. In her opinion, the reason why the original Su Wan ended up in such a miserable state was not only because of Lu Jun's schemes, but also because of her own mentality. She couldn't bear the setbacks and attacks and wholeheartedly wanted to take shortcuts. How could there be so many shortcuts in this world? After hanging up the phone, Su Wan tidied herself up and turned to the kitchen to make breakfast for herself. Before she finished eating, the phone came again. This time, it was an unknown number. Su Wan hesitated for a moment and finally pressed the button to connect. Su Wan, save me. Yi Shaochuan's screams came from the phone. Where are you right now? I'll go find you. Tell my brother that I really didn't do anything to you. I swear to the lamp, I don't have any feelings for you. But my big brother didn't believe me. He insisted on confining me. Su Wan was speechless. She almost forgot that there was a Master Yi in the Yi family and he was a military officer. Su Wan. Hello. I'm Yi Shaoning. A cold and deep male voice suddenly came from the phone. Even though she couldn't see the person, Su Wan could imagine that Yi Xiaoning's back was straight and his expression was serious. Brother Yi, hello. You've seen the reports in the newspaper? Apple Daily newspaper said that based on the pictures. Brother Yi, don't mind them. Second brother Yi just greeted me that day. Su Wan felt like she had to explain it simply because Yi Xiaoning was a stubborn person. I understand. I'll use my channels to communicate with that newspaper. As for second brother, his problem is really serious. Miss Su, you don't need to care about him. Also, third brother told me to tell you that he wants you to wait for him for 3 days. 3 days later, he'll definitely return. Saying this, Yi Xiaoning hung up the phone without hesitation. Su Wan was speechless. Brother, as expected, you're swift and decisive. You're the model soldier of my generation, at this time, in Yi family's courtyard. After Yi Xiaoning hung up the phone, he looked at his brother with a heavy gaze. It's useless even if you call Miss Su. If the newspaper didn't publish the photos yesterday, I wouldn't have known that you disobeyed military orders to go to the international hotel to fool around with a model. Yi Xiaochuan, you've grown up. Yi Xiaochuan was speechless. Disobeyed military orders? Do you really think I'm your soldier? No wonder you can't find a partner in your 30s. You're definitely jealous. Jealous that I, Second Master Yi, am surrounded by beauties. I know what you're thinking. Don't think that everyone is jealous of you. Yi Xiaoning glanced at his brother and then gently rolled up his sleeves. Yi Xiaochuan said, Brother, you're my real brother. What are you going to do? Why don't you just lock me up? Lock me up for 3 days. No, a week is fine too. My suggestion is invalid. Yi Xiaoning grabbed Yi Xiaochuan's collar and walked away. Go to the training room on the 2nd floor. I want to see if your fighting skills have deteriorated. I'll fight you with one hand. If you can't win, then don't come out. Yi Xiaochuan was speechless. Am I going to be sentenced to life imprisonment? Third brother, hurry and come back tilde I can't handle it alone tilde Su Wan naturally didn't know about Yi Xiaochuan's inhumane treatment. When she heard that Yi Xiaoning wanted to settle the score with Apple Daily newspaper, Su Wan immediately lit a row of candles for Apple Daily newspaper in her heart. One had to know that soldiers were simple and crude. Yi Xiaoning was one of the best among them. If he set his eyes on her, then she wouldn't have a good time. It seemed like she didn't need to do anything this time. Su Wan tossed the Apple Daily newspaper aside and focused on her next plan. She would definitely take care of Lu Jun, but what about Yi Liu? Since Lu Jun wanted to help Yi Liu achieve her dream of becoming a movie empress, then Su Wan was going to make it all go down the drain. Other than being rich, Lu Jun's biggest cheat was his rebirth. So what if he knew the plot well? Su Wan expressed that she knew more than him. Then this time, let's use our cheat together. What about the future? Who knows? 2 days passed peacefully. Before Su Wan and Yi Xiaochuan's matter was settled, Apple Daily newspaper declared bankruptcy. After finding out that the Yi family was the one behind this, all the media turned around and accused Apple Daily newspaper of distorting the truth, disregarding their professional ethics, and using fake news to frame artists. In short, everyone in the industry thought that a newspaper without morals and bottom line should have closed down long ago. Everyone pushed a wall when it was down. Su Wan didn't care about this incident at all. She wanted to use this incident to see the media's reaction. Thankfully, Li Wei didn't disappoint Su Wan. From the beginning to the end, Li Wei stood on Su Wan's side and helped her clear her name. This ambitious and scheming man was worthy of being the chief of Shuri. He also chased after benefits, but in front of benefits, he was more far-sighted than anyone else. If this person was born in a chaotic world, he would definitely be a formidable person. It was a pity that he was only an entertainment reporter now. Late at night, the bustling city finally quietened down. Su Wan, who had returned to being a free person with nothing to do, had long been accustomed to sleeping early and waking up early these days. When the phone rang in the middle of the night, she turned over several times on the bed before lazily fumbling for the phone on the bedside table and picking it up. Hello. The lazy and muddled voice made the person's heart skip a beat. Wife, open the door for me. Su Wan was speechless. You're back. Su Wan suddenly sat up. Yi Xiaoning had told her to wait for 3 days. Right now, it was only late at night on the second day. Therefore, Su Wan froze hearing Su Rui's voice. Then she quickly jumped out of bed and rushed out of the bedroom to open the apartment door. A familiar aura rushed into her face. Su Rui wore a black windbreaker and there was a suitcase by his feet. It seemed like he came straight here after getting off the plane. Welcome home. Su Wan looked at the man at the door and smiled as she opened her arms. Amen. I'm back. Su Rui smiled and hugged Su Wan. 2 people, 1 home. Chapter 271. The morning sunlight seeped through the cracks of the curtains and shone on his face. Su Rui habitually turned over and felt the soft and warm body next to him. He instinctively reached out and hugged her tightly. He didn't need to open his eyes nor did he need to feel. His instincts told him who the person next to him was. Su Wan moved in Su Rui's embrace. Feeling his little brother propping against her in high spirits, Su Wan couldn't help but raise her leg and rub it against Su Rui's body. Hey, General Su, did you not fight enough last night? What do you think? Su Rui had been on the plane for an entire day. Last night, he diligently discussed life with his wife on the bed. He was originally really tired, but after his wife's antics, he immediately became interested again. He had no choice. Who told him to have no resistance towards his wife? While talking, Su Rui had already turned over and pressed Su Wan under his body. He was planning to have a good in-depth conversation with her, but the apartment's doorbell rang at this time. Damn. General Su rarely cursed. Then he turned around and laid back on his seat speechlessly. Hair. Seeing his disappointed expression, Su Wan couldn't help but lean over and softly kiss Su Rui's cheek. Rest well. I'll go open the door. Saying this, Su Wan sat up and started wearing her clothes. Needless to say, it had to be Wu Tong who came to her apartment at this time. By the time Su Wan finished changing and opened the door, she saw Wu Tong's smiling face as expected. You're so happy. You got a girlfriend. Su Wan couldn't help but crack a joke seeing Wu Tong's smile. Ah. Wu Tong felt like his sister Wan was really changing every day. As her manager, he couldn't keep up with her changing rhythm at all. Sister Wan, don't make fun of me. This time, there's really something good. Haihuang Entertainment's CEO's assistant called me this morning. They want to sign you. Sister Wan, do you know how much Haihuang is asking for? 120 million. It's 120 million. It was a real 9-digit contract. What did this mean? This meant that as long as Su Wan nodded her head and signed the contract, even if she didn't do anything this year, she would still be able to receive the 100 million that the company had given her. Damn it, this world is crazy. Originally, Wu Tong thought that Su Wan's words were just a pretense. After all, it wasn't uncommon for artists to falsely report their remuneration and contract fees these days. In reality, every entertainment company and artist's contract was confidential. The real and fake numbers circulating on the internet were all fake news purposefully released by people. Even if they were artists from the same company, it was impossible for them to know how much the other party was earning. See King, Tan Tian's property. Su Wan wasn't surprised by Wu Tong's words at all. Her offer of $1 billion was tailor-made for Haihuang Entertainment. In China, how many entertainment companies were willing to offer their artists a contract worth hundreds of millions? Xinyu couldn't do it. Even the head of the entertainment industry, Hua Tian, would have to think twice before acting. But Haihuang Entertainment, a rising star in the entertainment industry, dared to do it. The reason for this was very simple. It was because the behind-the-scenes boss of Haihuang Entertainment was Tan Tian, and Tan Tian was the godfather of a gang. You're planning on working with Tan Tian? Su Rui's voice suddenly rang from the side. He was still wearing loose pajamas, completely ignoring Wu Tong. While saying this, Su Rui sat next to Su Wan and pulled her into his embrace. I'll give you 200 million. Come to my family's entertainment company. You can play however you want. Wu Tong was speechless. Was this the legendary third master Yi? He seemed really domineering. 200 million. Sister Wan, hurry and agree to him. Stop messing around. Su Wan helped Su Rui fix his pajamas. Go sleep a bit more. Be good. Saying this, Su Wan kissed Su Rui's face again. But this time, Su Rui still stared at Su Wan quietly. Why are you working with Tan Tien? In the original plot, Tan Tien's Haihuang Entertainment was basically used to launder money. Tan Tien's true business was smuggling and selling drugs. With Haihuang Entertainment as a cover, their drug business gradually seeped into the entertainment industry. Almost all the artists bought Haihuang's goods. The original body, Su Wan, had attended a gathering with Haihuang's artists and got infected with it. Ever since then, she was unable to free herself. She was empty, anxious, stressed. The pace of life was too fast. Artists had more worries than ordinary people. They didn't dare to eat too much and had to maintain their image at all times. They didn't dare to dress too casually. They even had to think twice before saying anything. In this world, there were fans and haters. There was also a group of paparazzi staring at them all the time. Sometimes, they didn't even have the freedom to fall in love and speak their true thoughts. In this anxious and tense circle, drugs had gradually become something that many people relied on to survive. They couldn't do without it. People who weren't in this circle would never understand how decadent and tragic it was behind the glamour. What Tan Tien fancied was the daily rush of money in the entertainment circle, and what Su Wan fancied was Tan Tien's power. Right now, Haihuang urgently needs to make a name for itself in the entertainment industry. I, Su Wan, have fame, status, and exposure. Most importantly, I have $1 million contract. This is exactly what Haihuang needs. Hearing Su Rui's question, Su Wan couldn't help but answer seriously, of course. As a small artist, I can't do anything about what Haihuang does behind the scenes. But I'm part of Haihuang in the future. If someone bullies me, for example Lu Jun, do you think Tan Tien will let them bully his company's money tree? Borrowing Tan Tien's ruthlessness to mess up the world structure was the first step in Su Wan's plan. Male lead, didn't you have a cheat after being reborn? Okay, I'll mess up everything now. Let's see how you're going to play. In terms of ruthlessness, can you really be more ruthless than the gang leader, Tan Tien? Hearing Su Wan's words, Su Rui couldn't help but mutter to himself. This move of borrowing a knife to kill someone was indeed beautiful. After going through so many worlds, Su Rui had almost forgotten that Su Wan was the best at playing with people's hearts. She was careful at every step. Borrowing a knife to kill someone was her best move. Since you've decided, then do it your way. Of course, Yi Entertainment welcomes you at any time. Yi Entertainment was actually an empty entertainment company under Yi Shaochuan's name. It hadn't officially started yet, but this time, Su Rui was planning on taking over his family's business. The entertainment industry was one of his main directions. A man who didn't know that his wife followed his husband wasn't a good husband. General Su wasn't interested in being an actor, but he was really interested in being the CEO of an entertainment company, an investor, or a producer. Apparently, he could do whatever he wanted after becoming an investor. General Su didn't have many goals. He just wanted his wife to be his. Chapter 272. Through Wu Tong and Tan Tien's assistant, Song Lin, the two had reached an initial agreement. They had also agreed on a date to sign the contract. Su Wan's only request was for Li Wei from Shuri to give them an exclusive interview when they signed the contract. Tan Tien naturally agreed to this request. Speaking of Li Wei, he had been absent-minded for the past few days. That day at the International Hotel, Su Wan said that she would contact him within a week. It was already the 6th day now. Speaking of Li Wei's life, it was definitely a standard and tidy biography of a male phoenix. Growing up in a mountain village, Li Wei had always been ambitious and longed to make a name for himself in the outside world. When he was young, Li Wei was admitted to university with excellent grades. He had always been a popular figure on campus. Because of his good writing skills and sharp words, he had always been the chief editor of the school newspaper. After graduation, Li Wei became a reporter at a newspaper as he had wished. It was at this time that the cruel reality slapped him hard in the face. Reporter. What did you think a reporter was? An emissary to plead for the people and uphold justice? That was all nonsense. He had been busy for another year, working hard to report to work. What he received and what he put in weren't worth it at all. Society was a huge vat of dye. No matter what color you were when you came in, you would definitely be colorful after you left. Li Wei gradually gave up his unrealistic dreams. He entered Shuri and became an entertainment reporter that many people looked down upon. The two secrets of being an entertainment reporter were being courageous and being shameless. Li Wei dared to do news that others didn't dare to do. He dared to write reports that others didn't dare to write. Therefore, he had a meteoric rise in Shuri and was highly regarded. Of course, Li Wei was different from others. He liked to plan ahead and dared to cast a long line to catch a big fish. In his opinion, Su Wn was that big fish. Whether or not he could progress this year would depend on whether or not the Heavenly Empress was impressive. It's finally here. It was still the International Hotel. This time, Tan Tien had booked a high-class conference room in the hotel. Su Wan and Wu Tong waited for Li Wei in the hotel lobby. The three of them got on the elevator together. Today was a rather meaningful day. Su Wan tied her long hair up and wore formal attire. Even Wu Tong changed into a suit today. The young man looked much more spirited. When the three of them arrived at the meeting room, Tan Tien and Song Lin were already there. "Miss Su, please come in." Song Lin was a beauty in her early 30s. Her black business attire couldn't hide the charm in her eyes. Right now, Tan Tien was sitting upright in the main seat of the conference room. It was also Su Wan's first time seeing the gang godfather who overturned the clouds and rain in the original plot. Tan Tien was only in his early 40s this year. He took good care of himself and looked like he was only in his 30s. Tan Tien's facial features were regular and gentle. His gaze was calm, and his black tang suit accentuated his lofty temperament. If someone who didn't know his true identity met him on the streets, they would definitely mistake him for a cultured scholar. Of course, in reality, Boss Tan was indeed a cultured person. As for being a scholar, that was completely different. "Miss Su, hurry and sit. My daughter is your fan. Don't forget to give me an autograph later so I can bring her home." Tan Tien pulled Su Wan closer as soon as he spoke. Hearing his words, Su Wan couldn't help but smile brightly. "President Tan, you'll be my boss in the future. Don't talk about getting an autograph. Even if you want me to work like an ox or a horse for Miss Tan, I'll still have to listen to your instructions." "Ha." Tan Tien laughed hearing Su Wan's words. "Miss Su, you're a straightforward person. I, Tan Tien, like to work with people like you. Here, take a look at the contract." While talking, Tan Tien waved his hand and Song Lin immediately handed over a contract. "Miss Su, take a look." The contract was pushed in front of Su Wan. Su Wan didn't even look at it and directly signed her name on the last page. Seeing her actions, Tan Tien couldn't help but narrow his eyes. "Miss Su, you're really daring. Aren't you afraid that we'll add an overbearing clause in the contract? Xiao Wan is at ease when Boss Tan does things. If I didn't believe in Boss Tan, I wouldn't be sitting here today." Saying this, Su Wan smiled and pushed the contract back in front of Tan Tien. "Okay." This time, Tan Tien really thought highly of Su Wan. He signed his name in the contract. Once the contract was signed, the rest was Li Wei's matter. For this exclusive interview, he had prepared for the whole night. The entertainment circle's upstart Haihuang Entertainment and the movie Empress Su Wan's strong cooperation. The contract was worth hundreds of millions. This was an exclusive explosive point. The entire interview went on for over an hour. In the end, Li Wei took a photo with Tan Tien and Su Wn respectively. In the end, the three parties happily returned home. Sister Wan. Returning to the car, Wu Tong, who had been silent, finally couldn't help but ask, "You really don't need to look at the contract again?" Feeling the concern in Wu Tong's words, Su Wan couldn't help but smile. "Okay, I know you're worried about me, but don't worry. Trust Tan Tien." Su Xiaowan didn't believe him at all. She only believed in her man from beginning to end. With Su Wan in her hands, she had the world. What was Tan Tien? What was a gang? As long as General Su was willing, he could destroy them anytime. Therefore, with such a powerful man as her backing, Su Wan could attack and retreat at will. She was in an invincible position. Seeing Su Wan's confident expression, Wu Tong sighed. He and Su Wan had known each other for 10 years. Back then, he became a manager due to a freak combination of factors. Su Wan was the first and only artist that he managed. Wu Tong wasn't a particularly clever and scheming manager. Back then, Su Wan took a fancy to this little brother's simplicity and chose him as her manager. They worked together for 10 years. During these 10 years, the two got along like a family. Wu Tong truly wanted the best for Su Wan. Su Wan could feel this. By the time Su Wan returned to her apartment, Su Wan had already left. There was a note he left on the table. Su Wan took a few glances and knew that Su Wan had returned to Yi family's residence. She then rested at home. At this time, Yi family's residence. Third brother, you're finally back." Yi Xiaochuan's face was still bruised and swollen. He immediately opened his arms and pounced at his third brother, who he missed day and night. Su Wan's gaze flickered and he easily dodged. Yi Xiaochuan was speechless. "Am I being despised by third bro? It's all brother's fault for being too ruthless. My beautiful face, no, handsome face is ruined. What's wrong with your face?" Su Wan glanced at Yi Xiaochuan's face and asked coldly. It's from when I sparred with my brother or after I died. I told you not to hit someone's face. Yi Xiaoning often breaks the rules and he won't change." That's right. He had to tell on his brother in front of third brother, Chenpage. "Who told him not to be at home right now? Who said you won't change?" A cold and stiff voice rang behind Yi Xiaochuan. Yi Xiaochuan was speechless. "Nani? Who can tell me what happened? I'm definitely hearing things, right?" "You're not hearing things. Yi Xiaochuan, do you want to continue sparring with me?" Yi Xiaoning's voice continued to ring coldly. "So, young Master Yi, your talent is mind reading?" Chapter 273. Third brother. Hearing that his elder brother wanted to spar with him again, second Master Yi immediately hid behind Su Rui. "Third brother, did you come back to talk about the company with me? Come, let's go upstairs to the study and talk." Seeing the embarrassment in Yi Xiaochuan's eyes, Su Rui couldn't help but smile. "Second brother, wait for me in the study. Elder brother and I are going to spar." What? Hearing Su Rui's words, Yi Xiaochuan widened his eyes like he saw a ghost. "You want to spar with elder brother? Are you asking for a beating? Stay on the side." Yi Xiaoning glanced coldly at Yi Xiaochuan and then his deep and serious gaze landed on Su Rui. Feeling Su Rui's fighting spirit, Yi Xiaoning's gaze froze. He took off his jacket and tossed it to the servant beside him. He crossed his hands and moved his wrists. "Third brother, come upstairs with me." "Okay." Su Rui nodded and followed Yi Xiaoning's footsteps upstairs, leaving second Master Yi to freeze in the living room. In the end, he quickly caught up to the two. Half an hour later. "Third brother, you're a Super Saiyang?" Even though he saw his elder brother and third brother's battle of the century, second Master Yi still couldn't believe that his weak and needy younger brother could beat his steel-like elder brother to the point that he couldn't get up. This didn't make sense at all. Hearing Yi Xiaochuan's exaggerated question, Su Rui smiled. Then he walked in front of Yi Xiaoning and bent down, extending his hand. "Elder brother, hair." Yi Xiaoning smiled, gratification flashing through his cold and serious eyes. Third brother, you've grown up. I'm a man of my words. From today onwards, I won't interfere with you and Miss Su. The brothers clasped their hands together. Using Su Rui's strength, Yi Xiaoning jumped up from the ground. How many years had it been? As a 3-time champion in the military, Yi Xiaoning hadn't tasted what it felt like to be beaten down by someone for many years. Speaking of which, this feeling seems to be quite carefree. Of course, the prerequisite was that the person who beat him up was his most beloved younger brother. He stood up and stretched his legs. Yi Xiaoning glanced at Yi Xiaochuan. Second brother, learn from third brother. You're the only one who hasn't improved after all these years. Yi Xiaochuan, who did I offend? Third brother, come. Let's go to the study and talk about business. What's wrong with me not making progress? Haven't I managed all the businesses that Mom handed to me back then? Yi Xiaochuan curled his lips and pulled Su Rui out of the training grounds. After his two brothers walked far away, Yi Xiaoning, who had been putting on a solemn expression, couldn't help but furrow his brows, revealing a pained expression. Motherfucker, old third was really ruthless. If it was someone else, even if they didn't die, they would at least lose half their life. This naughty child tilde Yi family's old residence, study. Yi Xiaochuan's expression immediately turned cold the moment he entered the study. The playfulness in his eyes faded. Country YS foreigners are really daring this time. They even dared to rob my goods. Old third, thank you for holding the fort overseas. Otherwise, your second brother would have failed miserably. You're my real brother. Su Rui glanced at Yi Xiaochuan and then casually sat on the only bamboo chair in the study. Second brother, do you know who stabbed you in the back? Who else could it be? Lu Jun, that son of a bitch. Second master Yi gritted his teeth in hatred at the mention of his old enemy. His story with Lu Jun definitely went back to elementary school. That's right. They were the legendary love-hate relationship. No, it was enemies meeting and their eyes blazed with hatred. Second master Yi grew up in the military compound and was the tyrant of the school. He bullied everyone, skipped classes, and beat up teachers. He dared to do anything. As for Lu Jun, he was the legendary tyrant of other people's families. The two didn't see eye to eye. Later, in middle school, Second Master Yi finally fell in love with a girl. In the end, the girl gave him a good person card. Yi Xiaochuan, you're great but I already have someone I like. That's right. The girl liked Lu Jun. As the male lead of a world, Lu Jun had an outstanding appearance, a superior IQ, a good upbringing, and an outstanding family background since he was young. In short, this tyrant didn't need to do anything. Just by standing there, he could attract the hatred of everyone within 100 miles. As for Second Master Yi, he was just the boss with the highest fighting strength in a group of small monsters. Lu Jun. Hearing Yi Xiaochuan's words, Su Rui's gaze flickered. Hit where it hurts. Second brother, do you know what Lu Jun's biggest weakness is? HMPH. What he cares about the most is the company his father left behind. No matter what, I'm going to bankrupt him and make him beg on the street. Second Master Yi was full of confidence. Speaking of which, he really did do this in his past life. But now tilde second brother, have you heard of Yi Liu? Yi Liu? Who? Second Master Yi furrowed his brows hearing Yi Liu's name. This name sounded familiar. It seemed to be, you're talking about the celebrity that Lu Jun found? She's not a celebrity. She's his true love. Su Rui smiled and laid down on the rattan chair. Second brother, leave Yi Entertainment and the company's other projects to me. Your only mission right now is to chase after Yi Liu. Once you get her, you win. That simple. Yi Xiaochuan narrowed his eyes and looked suspiciously at Su Rui. Third brother, you're not lying to me, right? Why would I lie to you? Do you think I'd be interested in your crappy assets? You wouldn't be interested. Phut, child's words carry no harm. What do you mean by crappy assets? Yi Xiaochuan looked at his brother darkly. Third brother, you've become bad. Do you think Su Wan taught you that? Su Wan and Yi Liu were love rivals. Everyone on Earth knew about this. Yi Xiaochuan felt that Su Wan wasn't simple. He was really afraid that his brother would be used. She's my wife. I know what I'm doing. Speaking of which, Su Rui suddenly sat up straight and looked at Yi Xiaochuan with sparkling eyes. Second brother, you haven't explained to me what Apple Daily newspaper reported last time, right? Come, let's go to the training ground and compare notes. Compare notes, my ass. You're both violent maniacs. Yi Xiaochuan's expression changed hearing Su Rui's words. Cough. Chasing a girl is really complicated. I'm going to research Yi Liu's personal information. I'll give you the company's information tomorrow. You and your wife can do whatever you want. Even if you make me bankrupt, I'm willing. That's it. Saying this, Yi Xiaochuan turned and left like the wind. Seeing Yi Xiaochuan close the door and leave, Su Rui couldn't help but chuckle. It was really difficult to chase after the female lead. Chapter 274. 120 million. Haihuang Entertainment and Empress Su Wan's latest contract was exclusively exposed. November 3rd. Early in the morning, Shuri magazine's latest issue caused a huge uproar the moment it was released. A while ago, Su Wan terminated her contract with Sinu, fought against Apple, and also had a complicated scandal with Second Master Yi. Everything left a deep impression on people. Now that the contract was exposed, even people who didn't care much about celebrity gossip were speechless, let alone the entire entertainment circle. Even people who didn't care much about celebrity gossip were speechless. 120 million. What kind of concept was that? Don't talk about normal workers, even white-collared workers with average incomes wouldn't be able to earn that much in their entire lives. The sky-high contract caused a wave of envy and jealousy among the netizens. Then, some haters who were unwilling to be left out began to take the opportunity to stir up trouble, ridiculing the celebrities for earning too much but doing too little, saying that they had not made any useful contributions to society. This time, Su Wan, who had never reacted to the outside world, immediately posted a message on Weibo. Su Wan, I received a lot of blessings from my old friends today. I also officially broke up with my old employer. Excluding the penalty fee, I think I earned quite a bit. How am I supposed to spend this much money? Forgive me for being ignorant. My hands are still shaking right now. There was a cute, cartoonish picture of a trembling person. There was a website link under the picture. When Su Wan's fans saw her new message and clicked on the link, a website would automatically pop up. On the red website, there was a bright red heart at the top, Wanling Charity Fund. This was the main page of a private charity fund. On the main page was some information that had just been released. Below the page was information that they were recruiting volunteers. In the end, there was a certificate from the China International Charity Fund Association and the operation number of other authorities. This private charity fund invested 50 million. It was very formal and large. Of course, Su Wan didn't pay for it herself. She invested 20 million and the remaining money was transferred from Second Master Yi's account. Su Wan and Yi Shaoling were the founders of the fund. No matter if it was to create hype or to slap the haters in the face, Su Wan's new Weibo post immediately attracted countless people's gazes. Many people who had a good impression of her immediately turned into her fans. Xiao Wan, well done. Song Lin's voice was very excited over the phone. The company has received quite a few endorsements and film contracts today. I've handed them all to Wu Tong. When he's done screening, I'll get him to pass them to you for a look. Okay, I got it. Su Wan hung up the phone and lazily turned over in Su Rui's embrace. You're going to be busy? Su Rui naturally heard what Song Lin said on the phone. Yeah, I can't just sit around and do nothing. As an artist, if you don't release a new work, no matter how much people talk about you, you will eventually be forgotten. While speaking, Su Wan raised her arm again, supported her head, and looked at the man beside her with a smile. You've just familiarized yourself with the company's process these 2 days. You'll be busy for a while, right? I'm only in charge of Yi Entertainment. Su Rui looked down. What potential newcomers are there in the circle? Recommend them to me. A newbie. Su Wan thought about it. There are 2 decent ones. I'll have Wu Tong help you contact them. You know that my acquaintances are all from Sinew. It's not good to keep poaching old Huang. Hair. Su Rui's gaze flickered hearing Su Wan's words. I remember that Huang Chi's Sinew has a first-rate actor called Lin Mu. You're his on-screen CP, right? Ah. Su Wan looked at Su Rui speechlessly. Lin Mu. His appearance is nice and his acting skills are okay too. He's just a bit arrogant. It's the fans' wishful thinking whether we're a CP or not. In reality, he and I aren't the same type of person. This was the difference between illusion and reality. The lovey-dovey couple on the screen might be a pair of enemies who couldn't stand the sight of each other in reality. In short, CP fans were definitely the most bitter type of fans in the world. Hearing Su Wan's words, Su Rui's gaze was still calm. I don't like him. Don't act with him in the future. Also, don't forget to let me have a look at the new movie's script. I'll take care of the investment and whatnot. Don't act in bed scenes. Su Wan couldn't help but add, actually, kissing is just a fake position. We use a body double for bed scenes. Don't be so nervous. Now that you mention it, I feel like hugging scenes are really dangerous. We should save it if we can. No, it's safer for me to visit you at the set. Su Wan was speechless. General Su, you're forcing me to act in a children's play, right? The next day, Wu Tong brought the endorsement brands and scripts he selected to Su Wan's apartment. Su Rui went to work at the company early in the morning. Su Wan's main task today was to arrange the work. This Isha brand isn't bad. It's an international famous female clothing brand and their endorsement fees are really high. Plus, their previous endorsers were all international superstars. This time, they've chosen a few endorsers to enter the Chinese market. Sister Wan, do you want to try? I think you have a high chance of winning. Wu Tong handed a contract to Su Wan. Su Wan lifted her eyelids. Reject it. Wu Tong, I won't take on foreign brands in the future. Bring the national company's endorsement list to me. Just choose a brand with a good reputation. Sister Wan? Wu Tong looked at Su Wan strangely. Which artiste in this circle didn't feel proud of being able to endorse an international famous brand? That was a symbol of status. The reason why artistes haven't been accepted by the mainstream for many years and were even criticized by many people is because many artistes have long lost their basic ethics. For money, they're willing to do anything and accept any endorsement. Are foreign brands good? Do they think they're an international superstar just because they took on a foreign brand? What a joke. Su Wan patted Wu Tong's shoulder. Being an artiste is like walking on a tightrope. If you're a bit careless, you'll fall and be smashed to pieces. Wu Tong, if I keep doing good deeds and scrupulously abide by my bottom line and principles, will my fans support me if something happens to me one day? Saying this, Su Wan smiled and answered to herself, they probably will. Even if they don't. I, Su Wan, have a clear conscience, no? In this life, Su Wan was going to replace the original body and be a virtuous and artistic empress. She'd be greedy for money, vanity, and benefits in her past life. To hell with that. The reversal of her life was just the beginning. In the end, Su Wan chose a spy drama that was adapted from a novel. This was a mainstream drama nowadays and the chances of it becoming a star were really high. Although this type of drama wasn't the young audience's cup of tea, Spy Change 1943 had a strict script and ingenious design. The suspenseful and thrilling plot was fascinating. It was a very outstanding spy drama. According to the original plot that Su Wan was familiar with, this drama would be the dark horse this year. Once it was broadcasted, it would become popular all over the country. Plus, most importantly, this drama was a male drama. Although the female lead had a lot of scenes, they were all to highlight the men's scheming and plotting against each other. Plus, the male and female lead's relationship was warm and plain. Don't mention passionate scenes, They didn't even have many scenes where they held hands. General Sue would probably be really satisfied with this script. After choosing the script, Sue Wan immediately called the company and told Song Lin about it. They would immediately arrange for her to join the cast. Hai Huang Entertainment. Brother Tian, Sue Wan chose, Spy Change 1943. When Song Lin told Tan Tien about Su Wan's decision, Tan Tien froze. Interesting. She's in the limelight right now, but she actually chose an unknown, small production. Our family's empress really likes to surprise people. How's the script? Have you read it? Song Lin nodded. I've read the script. To be honest, the script is really outstanding. I have a feeling that if this drama is handled well, it'll definitely become popular. Okay. Then use the company's name to invest in this drama and hype it up. Also, tell the director to prioritize Hai Huang's people for the other actors in this drama. Brother Tian, you're really far-sighted. Chapter 275. Spy Change 1943's director, Liang Peng, was a newcomer in the industry. He wasn't very famous, but he was a loyal fan of the original novel. It was Liang Peng's dream to turn his favorite novel into a TV series. Originally, because of his young age and lack of experience, Liang Peng found an investor who was willing to invest in his TV series. However, he ran into a few film and television distribution companies, but they were all rejected. A bit discouraged, Liang Peng also read about Hai Huang spending a lot of money on the newspaper. He also carefully looked up some information about Hai Huang Entertainment before giving his script a try. What he didn't expect was that not only did Hai Huang's director approve his script, but the movie queen, Su Wan, was also willing to join his small production. Of course, Liang Peng naturally agreed to Hai Huang's condition of increasing the investment and prioritizing the use of Hai Huang's artists. In his opinion, with the movie queen Su Wan taking the lead, he could choose a male lead with decent acting skills and then use his connections to find 2 veteran actors to act with him. Then, this would be a success. On the day of the audition, Wu Tong drove Su Wan to the predetermined location early in the morning. This was a street scene that Hai Huang had rented a long time ago. The moment Su Wan arrived, a makeup artist immediately led her to a separate makeup room. Sister Wan, the internet is saying that the male lead of this movie is Lin Mu. Do you think President Tan can work with President Huang? The makeup artist, Ju Yi, was a really cheerful and talkative young lady. Plus, she was a hardcore fan of Lin Mu and Su Wan. Hearing Ju Yi's words, Su Wan smiled faintly. This will depend on the company's arrangements. President Tan will probably find external help, but I'm not sure who. Actually, according to Su Wan's original plot, the original male and female leads of Spy Change 1943 were both newcomers in the circle. Thankfully, their acting skills were passable and the script was solid. This movie made the 2 famous overnight. But now that Su Wan was the female lead of this movie, Hai Huang naturally wouldn't find an unknown male actor to act as the male lead. Unless that person was a new actor that Hai Huang supported. Thinking of this, Su Wan immediately felt a headache. Because she knew that Hai Huang would raise a lot of celebrities in the future. The only one that could be called a superstar was Hai Huang's #1 student, Tan Yuqi. Tan Yuqi was Tan Tien's nephew. As a member of the royal family, he naturally had access to all the best resources in Neptune. Moreover, Tan Yuqi had a devastatingly handsome face. In this society that valued looks, as long as he casually acted handsome in a TV series, he would immediately receive a dozen brainless, love-struck fans. The male lead this time shouldn't be Tan Yuqi, right? Su Wan changed into her audition costume. It was a set of blue and grey mandarin jacket. This time, she was playing the role of a female guerrilla leader who wasn't well educated but was full of patriotic enthusiasm. Looking at the girl in the mirror with a big black braid and big and bright eyes, Su Wan couldn't help but take out her phone, pouted and took a selfie, and then sent it to Su Rui. The audition is starting. Is this braid pretty? Sister Wan, Are you posting on Weibo? I'll give you a like. Ju Yi saw Su Wn taking selfies and sending messages, so she couldn't help but ask. Ah. Su Wan then obediently took a beautiful selfie and posted it on her Weibo. Su Wan, audition for a new drama. Guess who I'm playing? The moment the new Weibo was posted, there were countless likes and reposts. In the vast army of likes, a certain third Master Yi's verified account just flashed by. No one noticed it. After posting on Weibo, Su Wan handed her phone to Wu Tong. Although she was already the female lead, she still had to go through the audition process. When Su Wan came out of the dressing room and arrived at the director's audition venue, the venue was in a hubbub. What's wrong? Wu Tong immediately called over a stage manager and asked in a low voice. The stage manager nodded at Su Wan and then said softly to Wu Tong, "Just now, during the audition for the male lead, the director team chose the newcomer, Meng Hao. However, the investor specifically asked Tan Yuqi to be the male lead. Director Liang doesn't agree. Both sides are still arguing." Wu Tong shrugged helplessly when he heard the stage manager's words. Under normal circumstances, the producers and investors had more say in a production team. Of course, if you were the most famous director in China, everyone would give you face. Unfortunately, Liang Peng clearly did not have the qualifications to challenge Neptune's people. Su Wan, you came at the right time. At this time, Hai Huang's representative noticed Su Wan wearing the costume in the crowd and immediately called her. "Sister Wan, you're the female lead of this drama. Tell me, who's more suitable to be the male lead?" Su Wan was speechless. Wasn't this giving people a difficult problem? Su Wan smiled and walked in front of everyone, looking at Meng Hao and Tan Yuqi, who were also wearing suits. To be honest, the male lead in the original work, Yu Cheng, was an ordinary-looking but meticulous secret agent. In terms of appearance and acting skills, Meng Hao was more suitable. Su Wan had seen Meng Hao's acting skills before. He was a young man with a bright future. As for Tan Yuqi, Su Wan really didn't know what to say about this handsome man who would gain a lot of fans as long as he stood there. Both handsome men are really capable. Naturally, I'll listen to the company's arrangements. Su Wan naturally couldn't side with them after taking so much money from Hai Huang. Hai Huang's representative smiled and turned to look at Liang Peng. Director Liang, look, Su Wan also thinks that Tan Yuqi is suitable. Of course, Meng Hao is good too. Isn't there a second male lead? Director Liang, since you like him, you can let him be the second male lead. Su Wan's gaze flickered and she immediately said loudly, "That's right, Director Liang. The second male lead, Li Huan, is the soul of this drama. Plus, he's the most handsome and explosive in the script. Meng Hao is a good choice to act as Li Huan. What are you looking at?" Tan Yuqi had been waiting impatiently. He couldn't help but roll his eyes at Su Wan's words. "Let him be Li Huan and I'm Yu Cheng? Do you think the audience is blind? So annoying. Okay. Let him be Yu Cheng and I'll reluctantly act as Li Huan." Everyone was speechless. It feels like we've been arguing for nothing. Sister Wan was really good at judging people. Her words hit the nail on the head. Liang Peng's gaze also brightened. "Right. Tan Yuqi, you're Li Huan. You're the Li Huan I've been looking for. The aloof male lead, Li Huan." This was practically tailor-made for Tan Yuqi, whose acting skills were worrisome and his looks were off the charts. As long as he had scenes, he didn't need to do anything. He just needed to act cool with a poker face. The two main leads and the second male lead, who had the most important scenes, were decided just like this. After the audition, Su Wan directly went back to remove her makeup. When she passed by the clothing area, she just happened to bump into Meng Hao coming out. "Sister Wan, thank you for today." Meng Hao thanked Su Wan, his tone really humble. "I didn't help you much. Just act well. You'll become famous because of this drama. Thanks for your auspicious words." Meng Hao chatted with Su Wan a bit more before leaving with his assistant. By the time Su Wan returned to her makeup room, she noticed that there was another person in her room. That person was Sinu's A-list actor, Lin Mu. "I'm filming nearby, so I came to visit. I didn't disturb you, right?" Of course, Su Wn knew that Lin Mu was filming nearby. Plus, she also knew that a movie that Lin Mu was starring in was going to be released this week. He wasn't here to visit her. He was using her to create hype. Su Wan and Lin Mu were originally from the same company. The two were arranged to be a couple and they starred in many dramas, but in reality, the two weren't familiar with each other. Especially when Su Wan and Lu Jun were forced to break up by the media, Lin Mu even posted on Weibo to hint to his fans that they weren't familiar with each other at all. They weren't familiar with each other? Chapter 276. In the dressing room, seeing Su Wan's cold attitude towards him, Lin Mu maintained his handsome smile. "I just finished work. Do you want to go out and eat together?" "Eat?" Su Wan looked up but didn't say anything. Behind her, Ju Yi's eyes were shining. The girl had already secretly taken out her phone, preparing to take a photo of the two. Welfare. Couples welfare. Male god and female goddess were going on a date. Ju Yi felt like she had to take a photo no matter what and keep it in her phone forever till the beep. At this time, Su Wan's phone suddenly rang. She took it out to see that Su Rui had sent her a WeChat message. "Yi Shaoling, I'm waiting outside for you to finish work. Let's eat together. Here." Su Wan smiled and waved her phone in front of Lin Mu. "I'm meeting someone. He's waiting for me outside. So, you can help yourself." Saying this, Su Wan closed her eyes and leaned against her chair. Ju Yi could only continue to help Su Wan remove her makeup. Lin Mu's expression turned cold. If the company didn't order him to use Su Wan's popularity to hype up his movie, do you think he would be willing to come and find her? She was just a greedy and vain woman. Now that she broke up with Lu Jun, she couldn't rely on men anymore. She changed to relying on all sorts of gimmicks to dominate the entertainment headlines. It wasn't a long-term plan to be so eager for quick success. Speaking of which, Lin Mu looked down on female celebrities like Su Wan from the bottom of his heart. "But Su Wan, you don't like me? That's great because I don't like you either. So what if you're a first-rate celebrity? So what if your acting skills are good? In the end, you're just an artist. No matter how virtuous you are, you still have to act according to the company's wishes. You're noble, you're arrogant. Don't come and find me to hype up things." Su Wan didn't have a good impression of someone like Lin Mu who thought highly of himself. After Ju Yi removed her makeup, Su Wan walked to the changing room to change her clothes. By the time she came out, Lin Mu had already left. Wu Tong happened to quickly walk in. "Sister Wan, I saw third, that person's car parked outside. MN, got it. He's here to pick me up for dinner. You can stop work early today," Su Wan said as she picked up her small bag and walked out with a smile on her face. Brother Wu, Brother Wu." Ju Yi immediately grabbed Wu Tong's arm mysteriously. "Who's waiting for Sister Wan outside? Is he Sister Wan's boyfriend? Who was it? Who is it? You're just a kid, why are you asking around blindly?" Wu Tong retracted his arm and patted Nine Leaf's head. "You should call it a day and go home. You'll be busy when the new drama starts filming in a few days." TSK. Nine Leaf rolled her eyes when she saw Wu Tong's reluctance to speak. Then, she packed her things and hurried after Wu Tong. "If you don't tell me, I won't read it myself. Do you really think there are 2 holes under my eyebrows?" At this time, outside the set, Su Wan walked out of the set with ease and familiarity and saw Su Rui leaning on a black Maserati from afar. This was his favorite brand. Wearing a black windbreaker, Su Wan unconsciously thought of the scene when she reunited with him for the first time. In the blink of an eye, a few worlds had passed, but everything about him was still clearly imprinted in her mind like it was yesterday. "You're done." Su Rui saw Su Wan's figure and immediately smiled and opened his arms. "Amen, I'm just going through the motions today." Su Wan threw herself into Su Rui's embrace and then quickly separated. Let's go. There are too many people here. Let's go eat. After Su Rui and Su Wan left, Juyi walked out from under a tree with her phone. As expected, the goddess was taken, but this person wasn't the male god in her heart. The CP fans expressed that her glass heart was broken but Juyi looked at the photo of the two hugging on her phone. Sister Wan's new boyfriend was so handsome. He was even more handsome than Lu Jun. Just looking at his face in the photo was enough to make one's face bleed. Plus, a man with such a temperament could tell that his background wasn't low. He was quite compatible with Sister Wan. What are you looking at? Lin Mu's voice suddenly rang from behind her. Juyi jumped in fright, her hands slipping and her phone almost fell to the ground. Thankfully, Lin Mu was quick enough to catch the phone for her. What are you panicking for? Am I that scary? Lin Mu smiled and picked up Juyi's phone. Seeing the photo on the screen, he froze a bit. This is, Juyi immediately became nervous. I didn't take a photo on purpose. I don't have any other thoughts. I just, she wanted to explain, but the more she spoke, the more unclear she became. Okay. Don't be nervous. Lin Mu's eyes flickered. I'm free right now. You haven't eaten yet, right? How about I treat you to a meal? Treat me? Male god treating her to a meal? Juyi felt like her luck was off the charts today. Okay. Seeing that Juyi happily agreed to his invitation, Lin Mu smiled faintly. Let's go. I'll go get the car. While Lin Mu was treating Juyi to a meal, General Su had brought his wife back to the apartment. Eat. Of course she had to eat General Su's personally cooked dinner with love. Seeing the roses and candles on the table, Su Wan froze. Do you like it? I'll cook in a bit. Heart-shaped steak with wine? Le2 red wine. Su Rui had already pressed Su Wan onto the chair next to the dining table. Su Wan's face involuntarily raised a happy smile. Do you need my help? No need. Su Rui rolled up his sleeves. Wife, just wait to eat. Saying this, he quickly walked into the kitchen. Seeing him busy in the kitchen, Su Wan couldn't help but take out her phone to take a photo of his busy back. This was the first time the two had a romantic candlelight dinner at home. The atmosphere was warm and sweet. The only fly in the ointment was that Wu Tong's call came again before the meal was over. Sister Wan, someone posted your and Third Master's photo online. I'll send you the address in a bit. Take a look. Achem. Hanging up the phone, Su Wan logged into a forum according to the address Wu Tong sent her. There was an anonymous account that posted a photo. This photo had already been reposted over 100,000 times and the number of comments below had already exceeded 6 digits. The photo was of Su Wan and Su Rui hugging outside the set. The quality was really high and the two's faces were really clear. Oh, it's pretty good. Su Rui held his chin and smiled as he looked at the photo on the webpage. That girl's photography skills are pretty good. What's the brand of her phone? The quality is really high. It's a pity that she didn't become a photographer. Actually, Juyi had been following Su Wan outside the set. Su Wan had noticed her a long time ago. General Su also felt it when she took the photo. Did she think she could get a photo of her face just by taking a photo? General Su was just posing on purpose. It probably wasn't Juyi. Su Wan glanced at Su Rui. Juyi, that girl, has a good personality. She's not that scheming. Juyi and Su Wan had worked together for a few years. Su Wan trusted her personality. Although the girl liked to secretly take photos of her idols sometimes, she had a sense of propriety. She wouldn't post photos like this online. Look, someone has figured out your identity already. Su Wan casually flipped through a few pages of comments. As expected, Su Rui's identity as Yi family's third master had been exposed. Su Rui used the tablet to log into his Weibo. Right now, there were a lot of comments under his Weibo. Wife, hurry and send me Juyi's photo. I'm so handsome in that photo. I'm going to post it on Weibo to show off. No. I think that photo makes me look fat. I don't want it. Su Wn snatched the tablet from Su Rui's hands. You're not allowed to transfer it either. I won't allow you to post that photo. Chapter 277. Liu family's private villa. Yi Liu had been busy at the filming location for the entire day. After returning to the villa, she went to bed early to rest. Halfway through her sleep, she flipped over in a daze. Feeling the coldness on the side of the bed, Yi Liu couldn't help but open her eyes. Recently, Lu Jun's company had been busy and Yi Liu had been even busier these days. She had just participated in Sinu Entertainment's latest historical drama. Plus, she was playing the second female lead. For Yi Liu, who had always been a stand-in, this was like reaching the heavens in one step. In order to improve her acting skills and not be criticized by the others in the cast and crew, Yi Liu had been practicing acting with all her might. Because of this, she and Lu Jun had been busy with their own things. Although they still slept on the same bed, their schedules were completely different. Yi Liu opened her eyes and sat up. She looked at the alarm clock by the bedside out of habit. It was just 9:30. She was really muddle-headed from sleeping. She thought it was the middle of the night. Yi Liu, who was a bit more energetic, got off the bed and planned on going to the kitchen to get a glass of water. When she passed by Lu Jun's study, she saw that the lights were still on. Yi Liu subconsciously pushed the door and was about to enter. But as soon as she walked to the door, she heard Lu Jun's voice on the phone. He kept mentioning that name, causing Yi Liu's footsteps to stop. Su Wan. Lu Jun was talking to someone about Su Wan. Yi Liu wasn't unfamiliar with Su Wan. She had been Su Wan's stand-in for 3 years. At that time, Su Wan was the most popular. She had endless film engagements. In order to rush, Su Wan used a stand-in for a lot of scenes that she didn't need to show her face in. Not to mention those difficult and dangerous scenes like diving and jumping off buildings. No one knew the sorrow of being a stand-in better than Yi Liu. She was invisible in the cast and did the most dangerous and tiring work. When the movie and TV series were broadcasted, people could only see her figure flashing by. Plus, no one knew that it was her. She couldn't see her name in the list of actors and actresses either. Stand-ins were called nameless heroes by outsiders. Nameless was really nameless. As for being a hero, Yi Liu could only chuckle. When she was Su Wan's substitute, she had seen Lu Jun a few times. He was handsome and considerate. He was especially devoted to Su Wan. Yi Liu still remembered that there was a time when the cast and crew were filming in the mountains. At that time, there was a heavy rainstorm and Su Wan caught a cold and had a fever. After Lu Jun found out about the news, he specially brought his personal doctor to treat Su Wan. That day, Yi Liu happened to be sick too. But she just planned on taking some cold medicine to get through it. Chapter 278. Su Rui's biological clock had always been very accurate. When he woke up in the morning, he noticed that the bed next to him was empty. Xiao Wan. Su Rui put on his clothes and got off the bed. The light in the bedroom was dim. Su Rui walked to the floor-to-ceiling windows out of habit and pulled open the curtains. Catcher, catcher. The lights flashed one after another. Su Rui was caught off guard and could only raise his hands to cover his eyes. What's going on? It was clear that our General Su didn't have the awareness of being a public figure yet. You're awake. Su Wan came out of the kitchen with an apron around her waist. When she returned to the bedroom, she saw Su Rui in front of the window and the reporter hanging in midair taking pictures. Su Wan was speechless. This was the 5th floor, right? What are you guys doing? Is it fun to kill someone? Paparazzi sure are hardworking. Su Rui had reacted by now. He even waved at the paparazzi hanging outside the window. Come, 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 my wife. Come and strike a pose so that he can go home early. Su Wan was speechless. So, General Su, are you a photography maniac? It's a waste that you're not a model. Su Wan quickly walked to the window and the two posed for the camera. The paparazzi outside the window immediately burst into tears. She suddenly felt so blessed. Su Rui, please help us. PS look better. Paparazzi. So Third Master Yi knew about PS2. Sorry for being disrespectful. After sending off the Spider-Man version of the paparazzi, Su Wan and Su Rui still closed the curtains. No choice. Artists didn't have privacy. It was really dangerous not to close the curtains. Su Wan had already prepared breakfast. The two people hurriedly ate a few mouthfuls when Su Wan's cell phone rang. It's Li Wei. Su Wan looked down and said, he's squatting outside the apartment with a group of reporters. He asked me if I wanted to enter through the back door. Li Wei really knows how to conduct himself. Su Rui looked at Su Wan seriously. He's not your fan, right? What are you thinking? Artists and paparazzi, although it sounds like we're mutually beneficial, aren't we just using each other? Su Wan smiled craftily at Su Rui. You're not jealous too, right? Su Rui replied, of course not. Actually, General Su hated any male creatures appearing by his wife's side, like Li Wei and Wu Tong. Although they were all in a working relationship, General Su just felt uncomfortable looking at them. He felt that he had to settle the company's matters as soon as possible. That way, he would have more time to accompany his wife. Visiting her was something he loved the most. All right, I'm done eating. I'm going to change. It's the matching outfit that I brought back when I returned to China. Honey, how about we wear that today? Sure, I like all the clothes you chose. Su Wan knew that General Su brought a couple's outfit back from abroad. It was all because of the photo from Apple Daily newspaper. If it weren't for his second brother, Yi Shaochuan would have been bedridden already. While the two of them were changing in the room, the entertainment reporters outside the apartment were already waiting for the flowers to wither. Ever since the anonymous post last night, the entire entertainment industry was in an uproar. Movie Queen Su was indeed the queen of conversation. Spy Change 1943 just had auditions and hadn't even officially started filming. She was already hyping it up like this. She wasn't planning on giving others a way out, right? But the netizens liked it. Female celebrities and wealthy young masters were always gossipy netizens' favorite. Last night, someone had listed all sorts of clues about Su Wan and Yi Shaoling's relationship. For example, after Yi Shaoling came back to China, he opened a verified Weibo account. Then, he and Su Wan closed each other's accounts immediately. At the time, no one recognized the third master of the Yi family, so naturally, no one paid attention to his Weibo. But now that the post was released, Third Master Yi's Weibo immediately went from no one to millions of fans. This was the power of the internet. The power of netizens was limitless. After digging deeper, everyone realized that Yi Shaoling had already taken over his family's business. He was the CEO of Yi Entertainment now. As for Su Wan's Wanling Charity Fund, they were registered under Su Wan and Yi Shaoling. It seemed like they had put their relationship on the table a long time ago. It was just that everyone realized it later. In short, all the entertainment media were staring at Su Wan and Third Master Yi. This news was enough for everyone to eat for half a year. They're out. They're out. At this time, someone in the crowd exclaimed. Everyone immediately rushed to the apartment's entrance. They saw Su Wan and Yi Shaoling wearing light blue casual couple attire, smiling as they walked out. Seeing that there were so many reporters, the two generously allowed everyone to take photos. Don't push. Everyone has a share. Take a good photo for me. Su Rui narrowed his eyes and smiled at the reporters surrounding Su Wan and him. His tone was really easygoing too. If you guys take a bad photo, Shaoling will turn against you guys. Su Wan continued Su Rui's words and couldn't help but tease him. Hearing her words, everyone couldn't help but laugh. Sister Wan, are you and Third Master Yi cohabiting? Entertainment reporters were entertainment reporters. No matter how bright their smiles were, they wouldn't stop asking questions. Cohabiting? Su Rui's smile disappeared hearing the reporter's question. Look, we came out together. Is there a need to ask this? Su Wn smiled at the reporter before Su Rui could say anything. I thought you guys would ask when we're getting married and having kids. Sigh, I prepared a long speech for nothing. Chapter 279. Su Wan and Wu Tong arrived at Haihuang Entertainment in the morning. Today, she went back to the company to officially sign the contract with Spy Change 1943. The moment she entered the company, she immediately received countless gazes. In the past, everyone would think when they saw the entertainment section of newspapers and magazines, who made the headlines today? But now, before they even opened the newspaper, they would think, what did Empress Su do to make the headlines today? Headline Empress. This was the nickname that people in the entertainment circle gave Su Wan. Speaking of the entertainment circle, it was strange. Say, half a month ago, everyone was still chasing after Su Wan and refusing to let her go. They said that she was dumped because she had a princess syndrome and was greedy for vanity. They also said that she took private jobs in the circle and dated rich businessmen and whatnot. In a flash, she became the daughter-in-law of a rich and powerful family. Last night, not only were the netizens shocked, the new artists in the company, especially the young and beautiful girls, were all envious, jealous, and hateful. They thought that they were younger and prettier than Su Wan. Why did Third Master Yi fall in love with her? Or did he fall in love with a younger man? Don't look at how happy they are today. They'll probably break up soon. This was the voice of the majority of female newcomers. Of course, they only dared to think about it in their hearts. When they met Su Wan at the company early in the morning, they all obediently curled their lips and called out with a smile, "Good morning, Sister Wan." Su Wan had seen through what it meant to pretend to be polite and courteous. Towards these female artists, Su Wan usually brushed past them coldly. You can scold me for being arrogant behind my back. That's right, I'm arrogant. I'm arrogant. Su Wan took the elevator to Song Lin's assistant's office. The atmosphere was a bit strange when the two saw each other. Who was Song Lin? On the surface, she was Tan Tian's assistant, but in reality, she was Tan Tian's lover. She was in charge of everything in the Tan family. Even Tan Tian's rebellious daughter was obedient when she saw Song Lin. She was Haihuang Entertainment's sister-in-law. But Su Wan's identity was interesting. Have you seen celebrities cross over to other industries? Singers don't sing and spend all their time acting. Actors don't act either. They go on reality shows to show off their singing skills and even guest host roles. This is very common in the industry, but have you ever seen the top female lead of a company become the lady boss of another company? Su Wan signed with the Sea King at a sky-high price. She was now the #1 sister in the Sea King and her position was stable. But once her relationship with Third Master Yi was revealed, she gained another identity. She was the future owner of Yi Entertainment. In the circle, this was the first time a young lady had experienced such a thing. Xiao Wan. Song Lin wanted to say something but was interrupted by Su Wan. Sister Song, I have something to discuss with you. Our new drama hasn't started filming yet, right? Shaoling wants to cooperate with Haihuang Entertainment. Yi's Entertainment has just started. It's not easy. You see, we are brothers in hardship. Shouldn't we help each other? Yi Shaoling wanted to work with Ocean King? Song Lin's gaze brightened hearing Su Wan's words. Speaking of Su Wan's identity, it was a bit awkward in Ocean King. But if Yi Entertainment was willing to cooperate with Ocean King, then it would be completely different. What kind of family was the Yi family? They had a red background. Compared to Tan Tian's grey background, they were like a tall branch. If the Tan family could really cooperate with the Yi family, then it would be like a pie falling from the sky. Third Master is really willing to cooperate with the Tan family. Hearing Su Wan's words, Song Lin couldn't help but ask. She didn't mention the Sea Emperor but the Tan family. Song Lin believed that Su Wan could hear the hidden meaning behind her words. Of course. Sister Song, what's our relationship? Can I still be with you? Of course, I don't know what President Tan thinks. If President Tan is willing, then I'll arrange a time for them to talk. Okay. Xiao Wan, I'll report to President Tan right now. You can decide the time. Song Lin hurried out of the office. Wu Tong, who had been following behind Su Wan, looked at Su Wan and exclaimed, Third Master is really going to invest in the new drama? Our cost is already very high. Can we even recoup this drama? Television dramas and movies were two different concepts. It was common for people to spend hundreds of millions to film a blockbuster, but it was too extravagant to spend hundreds of millions to film a spy drama. This is my first drama after joining Ocean King. Wu Tong, you'll slowly find out the benefits of investing in it. As long as a production team had money, they could have anything. While the internet was still talking about the real culprit behind the photo, Shuri Entertainment's chief, Li Wei, revealed the latest news. Yi Entertainment invested in Ocean King Entertainment's new drama, Spy Change 1943. The two companies worked together to create the most extravagant spy drama. Third Master Yi spent a lot of money just for a beauty's smile. Li Wei first briefly introduced Third Master Yi and Su Wan's new relationship in the report. Then he threw out exclusive insider information and attached a photo of Su Wan, Su Rui, and Tan Tian eating dinner together. In the end, he tactfully pointed out that Third Master Yi's additional investment was no less than 9-digit. This was just a drama. This was a spy drama. He wasn't a secret battle between wealthy families, nor was he a top-notch idol drama. He didn't need a luxury sports car or a private jet. Then the problem was, where would he spend all this money on? You want to know? You really want to know? Please pay attention to Li Wei's exclusive interview with Spy Change 1943. Once this exclusive news was released, Spy Change 1943, which had already been hyped up, immediately became the #1 most watched TV series of the year. Even China's top 4 TV stations all called Haihuang Entertainment, wanting to pre-order this TV series. No one expected it to be this popular before it even started filming. Some people were happy while others were worried. Huang Chi Sinew Entertainment was planning on airing an ancient palace drama, Mystery in the Palace, during the holidays at the end of the year. Although they had already started filming for a month, because of the long episodes, it would be airing around the same time as Spy Change 1943. Of course, a TV series was different from a movie. The time of the broadcast could be changed on the TV station. However, the tragedy was the tragedy. This ancient costume drama was also a drama with suspense. Originally, it gathered the combination of countless handsome men and beautiful women. The gimmick of the crew was idol mystery ancient costume drama. In order to shoot this drama well, the costumes of the entire crew were specially made by a designer with a lot of money. Excellent costumes, attractive actors, and a slightly suspenseful plot. This was Sinew's most important drama this year. But now that he saw Spy Change 1943, Huang Chi immediately had a bad feeling. He couldn't let Ocean King's drama be aired before him. Sinew's Mystery in the Palace had to be aired first. That way, they could take the initiative. With this thought, Huang Chi immediately notified his subordinates. Of course, if any crew wanted to finish filming earlier, they would need to spend more manpower and resources. As long as they had money, everything else wouldn't be a problem. Boss Lu. After informing the crew, Huang Chi immediately called Lu Jun. I have some things I want to discuss with you regarding Mystery in the Palace. Lu Jun had invested the most among the 4 investors in this movie, and Huang Chi knew that Lu Jun had spent all this money to promote his little girlfriend. Therefore, he called Lu Jun. Lu Jun wasn't surprised at all when he received Huang Chi's call. From the moment he saw the Yi family's investment, he knew that Su Wan and Yi Shaoling were targeting Yi Liu. Mystery in the Palace was the most important step in Yi Liu's acting career. She had suffered quite a bit for this drama. Lu Jun would never allow his beloved woman's future to be destroyed by other people's schemes. Boss Huang, I'll add another 50 million, no, 70 million. Please finish filming a month earlier. Of course, the quality of the drama must be guaranteed as well. Boss Lu, you don't have to worry about this. Huang Qi finally let out a sigh of relief after receiving Lu Jun's support. The film and television industry was like this. Money was the most important thing and time was an opportunity. On the surface, this was just a competition between two dramas. But only people in the industry knew that a drama could help many people. Similarly, newcomers gathered. Similarly, handsome men and beautiful women. Similarly, luxurious production. You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.